Presenting Subway Fresh Buzz, a look at football's most buzzworthy teams, brought to you by Subway. Subway, eat fresh. For many teams this year, hopes for success rest on their quarterback.
All right, DA, you got 3 plays, son. You're in the red zone. I want to see what you can do with it.
The Browns are looking for big things from Derek Anderson. Donovan McNabb has the Eagles thinking Super Bowl, and the Jets should improve with their new quarterback, Brett Favre.
Favre drops back, looks right, fires left. Touchdown!
No matter how different you are, you still got to appreciate a foot-long Subway club. Piled high with flavor and still low fat. Subway, eat fresh.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Jacksonville Jaguars are a hard-nosed football team. They've taken on the personality of their head coach, Jack Del Rio, now in his 6th year at the helm for the Jaguars. And for the Tennessee Titans, coming off a 10-6 season, there is Jeff Fisher. Overall record impressive, 115-99. It's really his 15th year as head coach if you take over the stretch where he eventually replaced Jack Pardee in the middle of the season, moving from his defensive coordinator position. Tennessee has won the toss, but they have deferred until the second half. That's a new rule in the NFL this year. So Jacksonville will receive Rob Baronis, who has not kicked at all in the preseason. Baronis has a groin injury. He will kick today with Brian Witherspoon, the deep man for Jacksonville, standing at his own 1-yard line. Nearly 70,000 on hand here at LP Field. The Titans and the Jaguars. Great divisional matchup to open up this 2008 season. We're underway. It's a roller. Witherspoon couldn't handle it at the 10. Now scoops it up and in some trouble. Witherspoon getting to the outside. Brian Witherspoon cuts it across midfield. Great return to open up this 08 season for Jacksonville. Chris Carr finally brings him down. It's a 49-yard return. And that's where David Garrard will start things off for this Jacksonville offense. What a tremendous season he had a year ago, Solomon. Look at that, 18 touchdowns.
David Garrard is not just his leadership, but his patience. Everything he does, he's not hurried, and nor is he rushed.
And he was rewarded in the offseason. 7-year, $60 million deal. Fred Taylor has nowhere to go on first down. It's a loss of 2. Tony Brown in there to make the stop. Let's take a look at this Jacksonville offense. The one change is at center. Brad Meester is out because of a bicep injury, so Dennis Norman getting the start. Meester out at least through the first 4 weeks. Backs and receivers, they're expecting big things this year from the tight end, Mercedes Lewis. And for Jack Del Rio, a USC guy, to actually pat a UCLA guy on the back like he did with Lewis and Maurice Jones-Drew. You know how the situation has sorted itself out. Oh, Garrard breaking tackles, but he's finally corralled by Hainsworth. The pressure came from Tony Brown, and then Albert Hainsworth, the Pro Bowler, finished him off. It's a loss of 8 on the play. Hainsworth, Vanden Bosch, and guess who's back? Javon Curse for this Tennessee team, an all-timer for the Titans before he left for Philadelphia. Linebackers, it's a solid group led by one of the defensive captains, Keith Bullock. And in that secondary, Cortland Finnegan has really emerged as a cornerback. Along with Harper, Chris Hope is back after the 2007 neck injury. It's 3rd and 20. Jacksonville back in their own territory, a 3-receiver set. And Garrard straight back to throw. Guns knocked up in the air and incomplete. He was looking for Jones along the sideline. It was Finnegan who got a piece. And 3 and out go the Jaguars in their first series.
And on that 3rd down play, much better protection up front for the quarterback, David Garrard, by his offensive line, and just couldn't find anyone open. So really good coverage on the back end of the defense for the Titans.
Adam Podlesh on to punt it. Now in his second year from Maryland, Chris Carr, the former Raider, signed as a free agent. He's the return specialist. Carr moves forward, fields at the 15. And a little shake and bake move brings him across the 20-yard line. It's a 38-yard punt and an 8-yard return. Clint Ingram, the stop on special teams. Well, Vince Young, 17-11 record as a starter. Just sitting down with him, Solomon, you could see the maturity now in year 3 from Vince.
Yeah, he even told us, he said, hey, I'm more comfortable with my teammates, the coaches, and everyone even in the building with the Tennessee Titans. He said more than anything, he's more comfortable and more aware of what this Jacksonville Jaguars defense wants to do against them today.
And the big question now will be the dynamic between him and the offensive coordinator, the new hire, Mike Heimerdinger, who played such a large role in the success of Steve McNair when he was in Tennessee. On first down, here's the pitch. And it's Chris Johnson, the rookie, darting down the field. He comes in with a heavy reputation as being possibly the fastest man in the NFL. He had the fastest combine and an 18-yard rip to open up his professional career. Let's take a look at the Tennessee offense. One change. Jake Scott, signed from Indianapolis. He gets the start at right guard. This is a solid group. Backs and receivers, big addition. Algie Crumpler comes over from Atlanta. 4-time Pro Bowler, and he gives Vince Young a legitimate red zone option. And he's got the softest pair of hands that you'll see. So now Johnson will stay in the game. And Johnson running hard. Across midfield, cutting to the outside. Good block from Jake Scott. It's an 11-yard gain, and already Chris Johnson is impressing in his first 2 touches in the NFL. Defensively for Jacksonville, this is a top 5 defense in the National Football League. No Marcus Stroud, he's in Buffalo, but Rob Meyer, he's a veteran, he knows this defense, he steps in. Linebackers, good group. Mike Peterson is back from the broken hand. Darrell Smith, one of the captains. And in the secondary, Drayton Florence, new addition from San Diego, Brian Williams, shifts from corner to safety. 2 plays for Tennessee, both on the ground. Double tight end set, first down, Young will throw it. First time, and incomplete. Flags come flying. Justin McCarron's held by Drayton Florence, and 3 flags came simultaneously. Tony Corrente.
Pass interference, defense number 21. Automatic first down.
I was throwing the flag from up here at Drayton Florence, and I'm a former defensive back, but yeah, he's draped all over Justin McCarron. See the left hand and then the right hand as he rolled up his back before the ball arrived, and Drayton Florence just have to do a better job being more patient and getting into better position.
Florence now in his 6th year from Tuskegee, has 9 career interceptions, signed a 6-year, $36 million deal. Pump fake, and Young goes down. Looked like that football was loose.
The Titans are going to get it. Looked like the center, Kevin Mawai, was able to fall on it.
So Vince Young avoiding a disastrous play. It's a loss of 3. Titans hold on to it as the clock rolls in this first quarter.
Yeah, watch how they're just going to come. They really do a good job of collapsing the pocket. Vince steps up in the pocket. He's going to take the 1-2 hitch before he can take off and run. Look, the ball's going to be swatted out of his hand. And fortunate for the Titans, they're able to recover it.
On a 2nd and 13 now. And Johnson stays in the game. The pitch. Johnson stumbling forward to pick up a couple. 2 yards. Brian Williams cut him down low. Well, we talked about the combine phenom that Chris Johnson became. Solomon, you were there. You witnessed this in person.
Absolutely, and I'm telling you right now, he turned heads at the scouting combine. That's where he caught the attention of many of the scouts for the Tennessee Titans. Took him in the first round, and people were shocked because they thought they needed a receiver. But with that kind of speed, Jeff Fisher said they've never had the likes of that speed or talent on this roster while he's been the head coach.
He ran a 4 gauge, and it's short of a first down. They come up with 4 yards. Brian Williams helped wrap him up.
And now the Tennessee Titans get a shot at a field goal after giving up the long kick return on the opening kickoff. The defense, I thought, did a really good job. Put pressure on David Garrard. Then the offense is able to move the ball.
Solomon, though, this was a recurring theme in 2007. They relied on Rob Baronis a lot last season, and he came through. Had a Pro Bowl season, was a clutch kicker in 07. This is a 47-yard attempt. Hentrick will hold it. Titans looking to get on the board. Baronis, he's got it. 3-0 Tennessee. 9:50 mark of this first quarter. Flying high here in Nashville to open up the 2008 NFL season.
Welcome to Southwest Airlines.
Thanks. I need to check this bag. How much is that going to cost me?
There's no charge on Southwest, sir.
Hallelujah! Well, I have another one, and I'm sure I'll have to pay for that.
Actually, your first 2 checked bags are free.
Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah!
On Southwest Airlines, we don't believe in charging for things that should be free. So what you see is what you pay. Low fares, no hidden fees.
Introducing Traverse, the all-new crossover from Chevy, with seating for 8, best-in-class cargo space, and an EPA estimated 24 miles per gallon on the highway. It's everything you've ever wished for, and then some.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time doing that.
Alex!
Oh, no.
Alex!
Whoa, what's up with your dad?
Son!
Since we got Rhapsody on Verizon Wireless, I get all my favorite music. Unfortunately, my dad gets his favorites, too.
Alexander Garrett, why won't you answer your dad?
So does my mom.
I was weird at that age, too.
Rhapsody on Verizon Wireless. Access to millions of songs, and you get them all for one flat rate. Enjoy them on a touchscreen Samsung Glide for $79.99. Verizon Wireless. Introducing Traverse, the all-new crossover from Chevy, with seating for 8, best-in-class cargo space, and an EPA estimated 24 miles per gallon on the highway.
Yes, I will go out with you.
Now see what happens when the new season begins.
What do I have to lose?
That's the spirit.
CBS Monday, September 22nd.
Can I see you later?
This seems like a really bad idea.
I'll take that as a maybe.
Gary and Mary, premiere CBS Wednesday, September 24th.
6-play, 16-yard drive. Rob Baronis, a 47-yard field goal. Tennessee with a 3-0 lead over Jacksonville as the Titans kick it off. Brian Witherspoon had the long return to open play. He'll get another shot here from the goal line. Witherspoon looks for an opening. And the hole closed up in a hurry. He gets ridden out of bounds at the 24-yard line by Colin Allred. Well, throughout this season, the NFL will be remembering one of the greats. Gene Upshaw passed away on August 20th at the age of 63. He served as the executive director of the Players Association beginning in 1983, and through his leadership helped the NFL and players attain unprecedented success. Of course, his playing career was incredible, Solomon. First-round draft choice of the Raiders in 1967, left guard.
And as a member of the Retired Players Union, very proud of the work that Gene Upshaw has committed to this league and his legacy as well.
On a handoff, Taylor bouncing it to the outside. Swarming defense. As Taylor was able to make something out of nothing, Javon Kearse in on that stop. 5.5-yard gain for Fred Taylor. 7 1,000-yard seasons for Taylor. And how about Javon Kearse? The freak is back in Nashville.
He is back after spending some time in Philadelphia. And, you know, he's happy to be back. This is home for Javon Kearse. And, you know, Jeff Fisher and his defensive line coach, Jim Washburn, they're happy to have him here with the Titans.
We'll call it a 2nd and 4 with a 2 tight end set, Lewis and Angulo. Jaguars yet to find a rhythm on offense. Garrard throws a dart to Reggie Williams out over the middle and a first down. To the 40-yard line. Working on Eric King, a 9-yard pickup through the air.
You're going to have to get a lot of quick passes from David Garrard. I think their offensive line is going to have their hands full with this defensive line for the Tennessee Titans. What do you need to do to negate the strength of this Titans defensive line? Get the ball out of your hands very quickly. Good, accurate throw from David Garrard.
Garrard has proven to be an outstanding leader. Went to the Pro Bowl last year. Led this team to the playoffs after Jack Del Rio took a risk a year ago, releasing Byron Leftwich, and people were raising their eyebrows through the league. Garrard gets rid of it. He got hammered. It's incomplete. Threw it in the direction of Matt Jones. David Thornton supplying that pressure.
It's pressure right off the ends, too, and that's where they're coming. Watch Van den Bosch off the top and then down from below. That's where the pressure's coming. They're keeping him contained in the pocket, and then Thornton, you see him right there, beats Fred Taylor, and he's able to get a hit on the quarterback, forcing a hurried and high throw from David Garrard.
So sets up 2nd and 10 now for the Jaguars. 3-0 Tennessee lead. Can Jacksonville overtake Indianapolis in the AFC South? That's the question this year as Maurice Jones-Drew is negated. No gain. David Thornton read it perfectly.
This defense, they are attacking, and boy, are they aggressive. David Thornton, one of the more underrated players on this defense, led the team in tackles, 122 last year. The other outside linebacker, Keith Bullock, he led them in interceptions. And we always talk about Albert Haynesworth, Kyle Van den Bosch, the guys who went to the Pro Bowl last year. They have playmakers who are physical and fast on this Tennessee Titans defense.
They were 5th in total defense last season, allowed 291 yards per game. This is a 3rd and 10 now as the crowd is responding. Shotgun, Garrard steps, fires, sideline route. It's incomplete. Troy Williamson, the former Minnesota Viking, the intended receiver. Garrard took a shot again. This time Haynesworth and Griffin. And Jacksonville forced a punt.
Garrard is big and strong, 6'1", 245 pounds, but boy, are they putting him on the ground in the first quarter of this game. Albert Haynesworth tried to hold up. Garrard goes down, trying to give it a little acting job to draw the flag, but they've gotten to the quarterback early in this game today.
So Adam Podlesh had an up-and-down rookie season. Punting once again to Chris Carr. Wobbly kick. Carr backpedals to the 10. Makes a cut. And then spun down shy of the 20-yard line. It's a 50-yard punt. And give him 7 yards on the return. Quentin Groves, the special teams tackle. Nashville is the site. Tennessee and Jacksonville going head-to-head.
Hey, Coach Billick, the silver ticket promotion is back. Drink cold, refreshing Coors Light, and you could win NFL tickets.
Very good. I like that.
Hey, Coach, I've got a lucky horseshoe, and I've got a leprechaun.
If you combine the two, then you're talking about between a 95 and 98% chance of winning.
Look for the official entry code inside special packs of Coors Light for your chance to win NFL tickets.
Coach, can the leprechaun refresh his buddies with your Coors Light?
As long as they act like men, I will treat them like men.
Thanks, Coach.
Bring your favorite team home with Glidden Team Colors Paint. The true colors of true fans. Team Colors Paint, exclusively from Glidden and only at the Home Depot.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me.
From the same hands and minds who bring you the highest ranked large pickup in initial quality comes the highest ranked mid-size car in initial quality. Chevy Malibu, built to last, built to love.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. The Home Depot, the official home improvement sponsor of the NFL. And by Verizon Wireless.
It's the 10th anniversary of the Tennessee Titans, coming off a terrific season, 10-6 last year. Big surprise in the NFL. Lendale White is now in. Give him a gain of a yard and a half. Justin Durant making that tackle for Jacksonville. And Jeff Fisher told us, look, I'm going to rotate these guys. I've got fire and ice right now. with the speed of Johnson and the bruising inside ability of Lindale White.
And they're running behind what I think is one of the better offensive lines in the National Football League. They're really good and stout up front. You know Jeff Fisher wants his team to play physical, so you're going to see a lot of Lindale White and Chris Johnson, an excellent mix of talents.
Line of scrimmage, the 19. Young setting up the screen for Ahmad Hall. And the fullback is caught from behind as he hit the 20-yard line. Brian Williams and John Henderson combining to bring him down. And a 2-yard gain. Well, if this doesn't tell you how Jeff Fisher is thought of in this area, I'm not sure what will. Look at the length that Fisher has spent with this organization, compare it to NBA and MLB.
And I woke up this morning, I step out my room of the hotel, and I pick up the paper, the Tennessean, and they asked the question if Jeff Fisher is overrated. Yep. And I'm thinking, there's no way this guy is overrated. Remember, he saw the transition from Houston here to Nashville, and they went 8-8. They hovered right around 500. As soon as they settled in, they go to a Super Bowl.
Young slings it. And it looks like it's short of a first down to Brandon Jones. At that time on that play, Jacksonville sent in their rookies, Derek Harvey and Quentin Groves, the bookend defensive ends that they're going to be building with in the future on that D-line. And the defense has done its job. Craig Hendrick, the veteran punter, will come on for the first time today. Two-time Pro Bowler, and Brian Witherspoon is the return man. We already saw how dangerous he can be earlier in this first quarter. Hendrick, high punt, plenty of hang time. Witherspoon, fair catch, and he brings it in at the 32. And that's where Jacksonville will set up shop. We have not seen much of this Jaguars offense so far. A 42-yard punt. Barona's field goal, the only scoring in this first quarter.
Hybrids. Why are hybrids always tiny cars? They never have seating grade, a DVD entertainment system, an 8-inch nav screen, and all the trimmings. You know what they should hybrid? This thing. That's what they should hybrid. Oh, did I just spoil the secret?
In every family, give me a call. There are secrets.
Are you having an affair with Mr. Cartwright?
That might destroy us.
My family has been known to prey on the weak.
Tyler Perry's The Family That Prays, rated PG-13, Friday.
Fair, straightforward pricing. That's what TD Ameritrade stands for. Think about it. Why pay investing fees you shouldn't have to? Or account fees that aren't clear, like inactivity fees or maintenance fees? It's not right, and you know it. And the thing is, the other investment firms know it, but they do it anyway, and that's just not fair or straightforward. TD Ameritrade. Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
When darkness threatens the world, two rivals must team up in the ultimate battle. Jet Li, Jackie Chan. The Forbidden Kingdom on DVD and Blu-ray September 9th with digital copy for iTunes and Windows Media.
Welcome back. It's now time to give you 3 reasons why Jacksonville are a threat to break the Colts' streak of winning 5 consecutive division titles. How about their quarterback, who's mobile, smart, and error-free? And then the running game is built on power and toughness. They will bloody your nose and test you for 4 full quarters. And then more than anything, defensively, they're very physical in all areas of their defense. They've allowed an average of 18 points a game over the last 5 years. That's winning defense. That should help you win a championship.
They were as improved an offense in the NFL that we saw last season as Garrard dumps it off. Maurice Jones-Drew, and the Titans defense ready. Jason Jones has stepped in for Albert Hainsworth. On the previous possession, Hainsworth was very slow to come off the field. Medical staff came over to check out big Albert Hainsworth, and the helmet remains off. And one of the staffers is still standing with him over on the sideline. So Jason Jones, rookie out of Eastern Michigan, a former tight end himself, versatile player, second-round pick from Detroit, is in there right now making his NFL debut. On 2nd and 7, handoff is to Taylor, and cut down behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 1. It is David Thornton, who has been everywhere in this first quarter.
He is making plays, and what they're doing, they're just blitzing him. You're going to see him come right downhill. He gets the penetration into the backfield, and once you can get on the other side of the line of scrimmage so you can make plays. They're not able to cut him and get him on the ground. Dennis Norman, the center, tried to chop the legs out from underneath him. He's still able to get in the backfield. You see the coaches for Jacksonville saying to the running backs, be patient. We got to get them blocked.
And a 3-receiver set on 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Garrard. Protection is there. Garrard throwing. Mercedes Lewis lunging. The ball came loose as he put his arm out to extend it for the first down. That second effort was tremendous from Lewis, the third-year tight end out of UCLA. The spot appears to be just shy.
He's going to need every inch of that 6'6" frame. We talked about him with his head coach, Jack Del Rio. Look, able to break the tackle and then extend towards that first down marker. He's a tall kid from UCLA, 6'6", 275 pounds. Needed every inch on that play.
Injury on the field. We'll update you on that when we come back.
Hybrids. Why are hybrids always tiny cars? They never have seating grade, a DVD entertainment system, an 8-inch nav screen, and all the trimmings. You know what they should hybrid? This thing. That's what they should hybrid. Oh, did I just spoil the secret?
The day begins the same as it has every day for over 130 years. With generations of brewmasters still hand-selecting the finest hops and 2- and 6-row barley. With a stubborn commitment to an age-old recipe, which costs so much to brew and age. It's a tradition of quality we'll always stand by. Some things aren't meant to change. Some things never will.
Connect to everything you love in life with BlackBerry.
11th Hour Series Premiere, CBS Thursday, October 9th after CSI.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac and by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
4th and short. Jacksonville will go for it. David Garrard keeps it. And he's got enough for the first down. So this drive will continue. The injury to Jacksonville was Uche Nwaneri, a backup at guard and center, second year from Purdue. He was in for Maurice Williams. So Tutan Reyes, the veteran, 9th year in the NFL, now steps in at right guard for the Jaguars.
We told you it was going to be a tough, hard-fought, physical football game. I think everyone's going to be tested, not just in terms of the physicality of the game, but the heat down on the field. It's really tough right now, and the players are going to have to be able to hold up.
And you experienced that in pregame.
Absolutely. I was melting in the pregame.
Good look for you, though, in the NFL today. Great job. Garrard airing it out, and incomplete. Troy Williamson tried to go up high to get it. He had Nick Harper in the area along with Chris Hope. And it's 2nd and 10. You alluded to the weather, and I think it's sneaky hot. 86 degrees where we are, shielded. We've got a little bit of a breeze, but down there on the field, you could see the sun is beating down.
Yeah, it's stifling, and it's going to be a challenge for the players. And hopefully, by the time you get to this point, you need to be well hydrated. If you start to try to hydrate yourself at kickoff, at that point, it tends to be a little bit too late.
2nd and 10 now for the Jaguars. Crowding the line, Tennessee. Running play. And Taylor running into a crowd. Brett Taylor's had a tough time getting it going. Just about everybody involved defensively for Tennessee on that stop. No gain on the play.
Very active group is the front seven for the Tennessee Titans, getting all the linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. We saw Keith Bullock, 53, and David Thornton crowding the line of scrimmage, trying to get into those gaps and not allow Fred Taylor to get going.
Taylor and Jones-Drew combined last year for 1,970 rushing yards between them. Taylor going to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his NFL career. Garrard set up the screen. Jones-Drew creating after the catch, and he's got a first down. Into Tennessee territory. He crosses the 45. Keith Bullock finally brings him down. It's a 12-yard pickup off the catch and run.
You love the way Maurice Jones-Drew plays the game. He's tough, and you can tell he was trying to get to that first down mark.
And coming up next, U.S. Open men's semifinal between Nadal and Murray. They continue their match, and then tonight, U.S. Open Women's Championship, Serena Williams and Jelena Jankovic. Then tomorrow, the men's championship, Roger Federer awaits the winner of Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray here on CBS. 8th play of the drive, give is to Jones-Drew, and up the gut, not much, a yard. Dave Ball and Ryan Fowler collaborating to bring him down.
Very few of the Jacksonville Jaguars run plays have made it beyond the line of scrimmage. I can't stress enough in terms of the job that the Titans are doing. You can see only 6 rushing yards right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, they expect to be able to do better for Jack Del Rio with Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew, but the way they're plugging up the gaps and blitzing the run with those linebackers, they're not giving Jacksonville anything.
Tennessee beat Jacksonville in the season opener last year, 13-10. Flags come down. Garrard out of trouble. Oh, a tremendous move by Garrard. Down the sideline, and David Garrard. Wow. Nimble ability by the QB as Jason Jones whiffed on the sack. It's an 11-yard gain if it stands. So Tony Corrente will fill us in. Titans are pointing
illegal formation,
the other way.
Offense.
They're right.
Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
Well, that nullifies a great individual effort by David Garrard.
Yeah, it usually means the wide receiver was not up on the line of scrimmage, and so that would be an illegal formation. We talked about the patience of David Garrard. Did he not illustrate patience on that play, even though the defenders were all around him, seemingly having him in their grasp? He's able to just wind his way out because he really does a good job of first protecting the football, but what excellent balance on the play to survive and still be able to run the football.
Should be the final play of this first quarter on a 2nd and 14. Garrard straight back. Garrard throwing, and catch made on the far side by Matt Jones. Another penalty marker, this time at the line of scrimmage at midfield. Jacob Ford lost his helmet. Back-to-back penalties for Jacksonville.
Holding. Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
And that's Tutan Reyes.
The offense, there will be no extension of the period. That is the end of the first quarter.
Reyes replacing Waneri, who was replacing Williams. NFL kickoff weekend. Nashville, Tennessee, and Jacksonville close after 1.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
What is this?
Well, you know, Vista's something of a hassle, but switching computers is an even bigger hassle. So even though you might have a better operating system, I'm not worried about losing any of my subjects to you. I'm still the king.
Well, actually, all your subjects have to do is bring their PC into an Apple store when they get a new Mac, and then Mac Genius would just transfer their files over for free.
Really?
Yeah, it makes switching kind of easy.
I banish you. You are banished.
My sister and I are proud to announce that we have decided to chase the dream and become 2 sport athletes. We've joined the Double Stuff Racing League.
My brother and I are proud to announce this was a great idea when we thought of it like a year ago.
Well, my sister and I would like to announce that you guys are going down.
My brother and I would like to announce that, we're scared.
My sister and I would like to announce that you should be.
My brother and I would like to announce that it's on like Donkey Kong.
And stop copying us.
It's a big moment in a boy's life when you can look him in the eye and you know that he's ready.
Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL and Circuit City, will have you ready to live the game all season long. With no interest till 2012 on all Samsung TVs $999 and up with your Circuit City credit card, including the amazing touch of color LCDs and plasmas. Plus, all Samsung TVs are on sale now. Live the game today at Circuit City.
Last May, one bullet changed everything. Now, the hunt for Horatio's killer is on.
I think I know who shot Horatio.
With someone close. The season premiere of CSI Miami, Monday, September 22nd.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Injury trouble for Jack Del Rio's team across that offensive line. Uche Nwaneri has a sprained knee. Maurice Williams with a sprained arm. Tutan Reyes is in there at right guard. There are no other reserves available to Jacksonville on that offensive line right now. Meanwhile, Albert Haynesworth has returned for Tennessee on the defensive line. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcots, the rest of our CBS crew. On the handoff, Fred Taylor busting it to the outside, and Taylor is bottled up at the 45-yard line, a gain of 3. Ryan Fowler there to make the stop for Tennessee.
You mentioned Jacksonville down to their last 5 offensive linemen, the healthy ones you see. The rushing yards not really gainful for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This offensive line has their work cut out with the defensive front for the Tennessee Titans. You can see they're working on so many of the guys, and they're down to the last 5. They would love to be able to rotate and keep them fresh, but right now, well, they're going to have their work cut out against this defensive line for Tennessee.
They did make a roster move. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Garrard floats one upstairs, and Greg Jones, the catch and turn to pick up extra yardage. Vincent Fuller there defensively. It's an 8-yard gain. Jacksonville will punt. They did pick up Charles Spencer, the former Texan, to take Richard Collier's spot. Spencer, though, is inactive. Collier, the top backup at tackle. Tragedy early this week on early Tuesday morning when he was shot outside of an apartment complex. He's in critical but stable condition in a hospital in Jacksonville. His agent earlier this week did report gradual improvement. That was the first information that had been released in regards to his status. Adam Podlesh, the punt. Chris Carr moves forward. And a fair catch just short of the 19-yard line. Low-scoring game. Is that really a shock here in Tennessee?
Too many meatballs on the field. Penalty declined. The new Primo Meatball Sandwich from Quiznos, only $2.99. Tender, seasoned meatballs, zesty marinara, and melted mozzarella cheese. All toasted to perfection on soft artisan bread. Time out. The new Primo Meatball Sandwich from Quiznos. Did I mention it's just $2.99? Stop the clock. Quiznos. Love what you eat.
It's all coming down to a kick. A 30-yard field goal attempt to try to win it. Ball down, kick on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. And that's it.
Live from your pocket, it's the NFL. Get the new NFL Mobile Live free with any data plan. Only from Sprint. Only on the Now Network.
Having everything you need for a great game time party. With Walmart's unbeatable prices, moms can do anything. Find aisles and aisles of cool game time stuff, now in the Outdoor Living Center. Save money, live better, Walmart.
Bob Woodward's broken a lot of stories over the years, and he's about to make more news about the Bush administration. Hear it for the first time tonight on 60 Minutes.
This week, the road to the White House runs through Dave. Wednesday, don't miss Senator Barack Obama in his first late-night interview since accepting the Democratic nomination for president.
Tennessee 3, Jacksonville nothing. We are just underway in this second quarter here at LP Field in Nashville. A 1st and 10 for the Titans from the 19-yard line. On a give, Lendale White trying to get that Those tough yards on the inside. John Henderson, Nashville native, first man there. No gain on the play. Henderson had to come up with 35 tickets for friends and family, and he told us, Solomon, that's actually down from the 100 plus that he had to come up with every time he came here early in his career.
Yeah, he said he did that over 100 plus tickets 3 years in a row. I think he got to look at his game check and, and decided that he'd do a budget cut. In this tough economic period, I think he's making a wise decision.
Yeah, that's a veteran move by Henderson. Rookie mistake early. 2nd and 10 now for the Titans. And a give, big hole, and White runs through it. And a flag thrown at the end of the play. Eugene Amano with the block up front.
Offense number 54. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that's why the hole was so big that Amano provided. He's called for the hold.
Amano is another one of those players on the offensive line for Tennessee. He, along with Jake Scott, they're joining the previous 3 starting offensive linemen from a year ago. Amano taking over from Benji Olsen, who had been a longtime staple of this offensive line. And then Jake Scott comes over from Indianapolis. I think they've gotten off to a good start. They had a really good preseason up front in the offensive line. Everybody wanted the first unit to score more touchdowns, but they were kind of holding back on some of the things they wanted to do.
But you're right, there was concern here. They did not score a touchdown in the preseason, their first-team offense. Chris Johnson running into the line, and he picks up 4 yards off the stutter step. Rasheed Mathis, the tackle. First time this season, let's go to New York. Check in with JB.
Hey, Ian and Solomon, you might have heard about the Jets signing Brett Favre. Well, take a look at their second offensive series. He delivers up top the gunslinger, 56 yards to Jericho Cotchery. Jets on top, 7-0 over Miami. First TD as a Jet. Back to Ian Eagle and Solomon Wilcox.
I'm sorry, JP. We actually did not get that memo. Brett Favre is on the Jets?
Yeah. Who's that guy jumping around having fun?
How about that? Young slings it, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Gerald Sensabaugh. And the Titans cough it up. Jacksonville with a big turnover here in the second quarter.
We told you at the top, the mandate for Vince Young coming into this game and all other games this year is to be able to manage the offense. And you can see the pocket collapsing on it, and there's not even a player in sight for the Tennessee Titans who you could say, yeah, here's where I wanted to go with the football. Yeah, there's at least one guy there, but Sensabaugh is really the only guy who had a fair chance to catch that ball. Poor decision, poor throw from Vince Young. This is not what they wanted. You have to manage the ball close to your end zone inside the 20-yard line. You turn it over, instant points for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars take over a 1st and goal at the 5. They've got Jones in front of Taylor. Garrard on a handoff. Taylor stumbles forward and picks up a 1.5 yards. Stephen Tulloch in on that stop for Tennessee. It'll be 2nd and goal.
The one thing I'm very much impressed with this defense for the Titans is their ability to tackle. As Vince Young's taking a look at the Polaroids, seeing where he should not have gone with the ball. But you talk about this defense being so good. In 2006, they were dead last in total defense. And last year, because of guys like Kyle Vanden Bosch and Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator, they went from last to 5th overall. I think it starts with their defensive front and then the linebackers and their excellent tackling ability.
Maurice Jones-Drew now in. Jacksonville looking to get on the board. Handoff. Jones-Drew powering his way through. Very close to the goal line. Jaguars wanted a touchdown, and they are going to spot him down just shy. 3rd and goal inside the 1.
What the defenders for Tennessee said about Maurice Jones-Drew is like, you know, tackling is one thing, but finding him is another. I think that's going to be a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
As he's able to penetrate the goal line. And you could tell no one even could find him. They didn't know where he was, so they could come up and make the tackle.
Jack Del Rio just threw the red flag, saying, look, guys, clearly, he was in.
Take a look at it as he can't go up, but he can go under. I think that's going to be ruled a touchdown.
You make the call at home.
I found like this CD just lying in the locker.
What is it?
What is it? Yes. The raw intelligence.
The CIA needs it.
Get us a reward.
That's fantastic.
The Russians want it.
The Russians? Why the Russians?
That's just a taste.
PC or Mac?
But this Friday,
we don't really know what anyone is after.
Not really, sir.
Everyone's gonna get it.
But appearances can be deceptive.
Burn After Reading, rated R, starts Friday.
Temperatures and...
For a couple of weeks, he's having problems with his pitching elbow, and team doctors want him to sit a few games.
High pressure system continues to sit over the area, and that's going to mean more...
Once you've dealt with the things that come between you, don't let erectile dysfunction get in the way. Viagra, America's most prescribed ED treatment, can help you enjoy a more satisfying sexual experience. To learn more, spend some quality time with Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease in vision or hearing. Now's the time. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
After football, Rafa Nadal and Andy Murray continue their battle in the men's semis. Tonight, Serena Williams and Yelena Jokovic in the Women's Championship. The U.S. Open on CBS. She's the last woman standing.
Keisha turned out to be a lot smarter than I thought.
Can the bombshell beat the boys club?
If I can pull that off, that's huge.
A new Big Brother, CBS tonight.
Waiting official word from Tony Corrente. Was it a touchdown for Maurice Jones-Drew? Let's find out.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand. The Jacksonville runner was short of the goal line when his knee hit the ground. Jacksonville will be charged with their first time out.
Well, Jack Del Rio gave it a shot. Let's take another look at it right now.
Forget where the ball is. Take a look at the legs of Maurice Jones-Drew. Okay, right there is where they said that he hit. I think it was very close. So right there. Now I think the ball was still right there at the goal line.
On 3rd and goal now for Jacksonville. Can they cash in here? Garrard looking to throw, floats it for a touchdown. Greg Jones hauls it in, and the Jaguars go in front.
Sometimes when you blitz and you want to get pressure, not just on the quarterback, but you look to plug every hole so that they can't run the football. You end up with too many players in the backfield and at the line of scrimmage. Greg Jones, the fullback, watch him sneak right past the linebacker, David Thornton, and is wide open. No one is even close. Easy touchdown pass for David Garrard.
So Josh Scobie on for the extra point. Remember, Scobie injured himself in pregame warm-ups a year ago before the season opener. Strange to see the kicker go down in that kind of situation, but Scobie is okay today, and the Jaguars have themselves a 7-3 lead here in the second.
Mike?
Hey, thanks for the window seat. No, please. You got the presentation?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Oh, let me stow that for you, sir.
Thank you. You know, just to be safe, I used FedEx Office Print Online.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They printed and bound 20 copies of the presentation. Shipped it to Portland. They're going to be there waiting for us.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You have a nice flight.
Thank you.
Print online. You upload your document, we'll take care of the rest. FedEx Kinko's is now FedEx Office.
Start building. FedEx, your ultimate NFL air and ground player. And by Viagra.
Well, for Vince Young, manage the game, don't make big mistakes, and certainly don't turn the ball over that deep in your own territory. Gerald Sensabaugh with the pick, and it set up Jacksonville, an offense that had a tough time moving the football prior to that. They didn't have to move it very far, 5 yards on 3 plays. Greg Jones, the 1-yard touchdown reception to put the Jags in front.
And when we talk about managing the game for Vince Young, you have to know your defense is dominating, and you're taking it to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You don't want to give them any easy points. You don't want to give them a possession right at your goal line by throwing an interception.
Josh Scobie to kick it off. And Chris Carr will return it from the 3. Carr looking for the angle. He was able to sideswipe one tackle, but then Troy Williamson made the play as Carr lost his helmet. Another look, Vince Young's interception.
I'm not so sure if Vince Young ever saw the safety Gerald Sensabaugh because the receiver's going to run behind him, and Vince will throw it right to the defensive back, Gerald Sensabaugh. And so I have to wonder if he even had vision on the wide receiver because there was never even a chance that he would have been able to complete that pass. Yes, the pressure and pocket was closing in on him. He's got to do a better job of either eating the ball and taking the sack or getting rid of the ball a little bit sooner.
Last year in the season opener, Tennessee put up 282 yards on the ground against Jacksonville. So far, 37 rushing yards for the Titans. Bootleg, Young wants to air it deep. Throwing the long ball, incomplete. Justin McCarron's in a matchup with Rashean Mathis. McCarron's back for his second stint with Tennessee. He spent 4 years with the Jets.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a well-thrown ball and a good idea to move the pocket. Vince Young throws this ball accurately. McCarron just doesn't have the speed and the other gear to go get it because he's on top of Rashean Mathis, and you expect him to be able to go get that ball, but not quite the speed or another gear to go track that ball from Vince Young.
Well, the standout so far for Tennessee on offense has been that man, the rookie Chris Johnson out of East Carolina. Triple threat, multi-purpose back. Let's see if they get him involved here. They do on the pitch. Johnson breaks the tackle. And too many white jerseys converging in on Johnson. Didn't have an angle. Darryl Smith missed initially, but the rest of the defense ready to bring him down. Gain of 1. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower have the latest NFL scores and highlights, plus a behind-the-scenes look at the grand opening of the CBS Scene, a one-of-a-kind entertainment and dining destination located next to the Patriot Stadium.
Is anyone having more fun than that bunch back in New York? And, you know, we go back for our seminar. We're enjoying Coach Cower and Dan and Shannon and Boomer. Those guys have fun 24 hours a day.
You see that shiny Emmy that JB had?
Absolutely.
Top studio host in television. Congrats, JB. Flushed out of the pocket. Young throwing on the run. Bobbled. Justin Gage. And it's ruled incomplete. Gage, a sure-handed receiver last year, had 55 catches to lead this team. Harvey and Sensabaugh applied the pressure.
Now let's see if he's able to make the catch. Ball did come out. Got to be able to go down and get that. See, this is one where even Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, said we need receivers who can make plays on the ball. He said Vince is going to make some plays. He's going to make some mistakes, but when he does make the play, we need the receiver on the other end to make the play. Justin McCarron's not able to come up with it. Neither is Justin Gage.
Hendrick handled the snap, which was off to the side. Brian Witherspoon from the 37. And Witherspoon's got some blockers. Wow. Down the sideline, Witherspoon explodes out of bounds. He's been a difference maker so far. A 46-yard punt. And Witherspoon able to bring it back 30 yards on the return.
You're the folks that bought the old Miller place, in spite of what happened there.
Excuse me?
It's a dead zone. Calls have been getting lost in there for years. The last residents went completely insane. We have the Verizon network.
You good?
When you've got progress.
We test our network every day to be America's most reliable. Verizon Wireless. Get the BlackBerry Pearl or the exclusive pink BlackBerry Curve, now just $99.99.
A work of art, a finely tuned machine, a sanctuary, a command center, a sophisticated sedan, a sports car. Together. Introducing the all-new Nissan Maxima, the four-door sports car. Lease a new 2009 Nissan Maxima for $339 a month for 39 months.
Miracle at St. Anna is one of the best films of 2008. On September 26th, Spike Lee invites you to solve a mystery 40 years in the making.
No. You know what?
Miracle at St. Anna. Rated R.
SAP software has made running my mid-sized business much easier. Actually, I have time for lunch. It's all very glamorous.
If you know you can do it and you believe that you can do it, it can happen.
At his camp, the Colts' Bob Sanders taught me how to work hard, play smart, and believe in myself.
Don't give up, never quit.
I'm Bob Sanders. Helping kids stay active and healthy is how I live United. Want to help? Find out how at liveunited.org.
He's going the distance. He's going full speed. He's going the distance.
Common theme in talking to both of these teams. We know them, they know us. There's no trickery here. There are no surprises when these two teams play. On first down after the long return by Witherspoon, Fred Taylor gets the call, and not much there. No gain. Dave Ball and Ryan Fowler helping to lead that charge defensively for Tennessee.
With such great field position for Jacksonville. Remember, even the opening kickoff, they had good field position, didn't come away with any points. They got the turnover and then was able to get a touchdown. You can see Jacksonville starting at Tennessee's 45. I think they've got to come away with some points here. I think the points are going to be tough to come by. You get this good a field position, you want to turn it into points.
And Solomon Uche-Waneri has returned to the offensive line for Jacksonville. 3 receivers set, flags come down. Titans are pointing at the Jaguars O-line. Tony Corrente.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
And that's the veteran Vince Manuwai, now in his 6th year. He's been a road grader at that left guard position. This team amongst the top-ranked teams in the NFL in rushing. Number 2 overall. They were 3rd in time of possession.
The offensive line struggling today. They're even moving backwards on this drive here. That defensive front's giving them fits for Tennessee.
2nd and 15. Back it up to the 39-yard line. Garrard is 6 of 10 for 41 yards and a touchdown. For a quick hitter to Matt Jones, he's got nowhere to go. So they were hoping to get some blocking in front of Jones, but Michael Griffin sniffed it out, and it's a modest 2-yard gain. And now Griffin might be having some arm trouble here with that left arm.
He had to make that tackle on Matt Jones, and what did Jack Del Rio tell us about Matt Jones? That this is by far has been his best training camp since he's come onto the football team. Dealt with some off-the-field issues during the offseason, but has rededicated himself and starting to pay off for his team.
So Jeff Fisher concerned about his young safety out of Texas, still developing, but he's got star potential. Michael Griffin, first-round draft pick in 2007. Versatile player. They didn't know, was he going to be a cornerback? Was he going to be a safety? Wherever they needed help, that's where Griffin was going to step in.
They have that kind of talent on the back end of the defense. Jeff Fisher told us that we have the kind of secondary, particularly the safeties with Chris Hope and Griffin, where they can match up against a physical team like Jacksonville, but the athleticism to play against a passing team like the Indianapolis Colts.
So the 4th-year pro, Vincent Fuller, steps in for Griffin. And the crowd re-energized on a 3rd and long, under 7 minutes to go, first half. Garrard out of the pocket. And Garrard slowed down. He was pushed by Tony Brown, could not remain upright.
Look at big Tony Brown. He doesn't even know how he's able to run with the quick and nimble David Garrard, but boy, he got a paw on him, and it was enough to throw David Garrard off balance and get him out of bounds. An exceptional hustle play by the interior defensive lineman, Tony Brown.
Well, after tremendous field position, Jacksonville does nothing with it, and they're kind of in no man's land here because Podlesh will punt, but the line of scrimmage is the 37. Almost blocked. Flag comes down as Podlesh has done his job. He's pinned them at the 10-yard line, but a penalty marker on the play. 27-yard punt by Podlesh. The last thing he wanted was a touchback, punting from the 37. Tony Corrente pointing in both directions. Personal foul against Jacksonville. and I don't read lips. So a first down. They'll get the better field position off that penalty. And we'll see where the line of scrimmage is when we come back. 6:28 to go in this second quarter. 7-3 Jaguars.
Nissan set out to create the perfect on-road vehicle, and in the process, created a category. Introducing two crossover leaders from Nissan. The redesigned Murano, awarded as an IIHS top safety pick, and the versatile Rogue, named 2008's best new small crossover. Lease the 27 MPG Nissan Rogue, just $229 a month. Don't follow the leader, own one. At your Nissan dealer now.
Back home! Put the gun down!
Good cop.
Give up the wallet, man.
Scared the hell out of me. Imagine that.
Bad neighbor.
Your outside lights are shining right into our upstairs.
See how that could be annoying?
On September 19th.
What the hell are you doing? You didn't ask my permission to plant these trees. Come on over. Let's do something.
Who can you call?
Get off my property.
I'll call the cops. Tell you who's on duty.
When you can't call the police.
He's trying to kill us.
Lakeview Terrace, rated PG-13.
I got a job to do, and part of my job is keeping an eye on you. I miss my son.
You're gonna find him, right? We're gonna do our best.
Meet the new castaways of Survivor Gabon.
You're in the middle of this huge jungle. It's really, really scary.
I unintentionally flirt with every guy I talk to. I don't mean to.
To see this land is a privilege.
I'm an actress, but I'm telling everybody I'm a pinup.
Yes, I am quite arrogant, and I've earned it.
Survivor Gabon in high definition premieres CBS Thursday, September 25th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sears. This season, find everything you need to fall forward, only at Sears. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
15-yard penalty on a chop block following that punt from Jacksonville. So Tennessee gets breathing room at the 25-yard line. Penalties so far, 5 against the Jaguars, just 1 called on the Titans in a 1st and 10 with 6:28 to go in this first half. Vince Young so far, 3 of 6, 11 yards through the air, 1 interception, and a big one. Handoff. Chris Johnson bursting through the hole, and Johnson tripped up in the middle of the field by Reggie Nelson. Oh, that one could have been see you later, 18 yards.
I have not seen a tackle in the open field in a long time like what you see by Reggie Nelson on Chris Johnson, because Johnson has the kind of speed that will challenge the angles you take as you come in. Now, would you want to have to tackle a 4-2 sprinter with this much space in the open field? He gets an ankle, turns out to be just enough, but you can see he didn't get much. Nice run by Chris Johnson. 6 carries, 55 yards rushing so far in this game.
He has been the standout so far for Tennessee on offense. Now it's Lendale White, and trying to find an opening. White kicks his way for a 4-yard gain through the middle. Well, you can get the fully customizable keeper league that you've always wanted with Fantasy Football Commissioner. It's at cbssports.com/fantasy.
Boy, has Chris Johnson put pressure on your defense? And I think running behind this offensive line, Mike Munchak, excellent offensive line coach, they're going to get him to the second level of the defense quite often during the 2008 season.
2 tight ends here. We have not seen much of Crumpler so far. Play fake. Young looking to throw. Young has an open man, and it's Bo Scaife, his former Texas teammate in Austin. Penalty marker on the play as Scaife hauls it in, and a 26-yard pass play.
Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, says he never messed with the throwing motion of Vince Young, and Vince Young threw a very accurate pass.
Offside, defense number 95. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
Bo Scaife, he lined up at tight end at the top of your screen. It's a 7 route, angling toward the sideline. You see the well-timed routes between he and the wide receiver, and a very accurate pass that time from Vince Young.
On first down from the 27, protection holds up. Young, guns, end zone, incomplete. Justin Gage, intended target, matched up with Drayton Florence. What changes do you envision going from Norm Chow to Mike Heimerdinger at offensive coordinator.
I think they'll take shots down the field like what you saw right there. They will go down the field. Mike Heimerdinger, very aggressive play caller, but he's going to hold Vince accountable for the mistakes. The interceptions, yes, he's going to get on his back. Vince Young even told us that. I think the number one thing is 1, 2, okay, in the pocket, then you've got to tuck it and use your athletic ability to run the football. He has the freedom to do that.
2nd and 10. Here's Young. Little flip for Johnson, trying to get him in space. Johnson darting upfield, and Johnson brought down inside the 10.
Electric is Chris Johnson behind this offensive line. I want to get him the ball even more because just about every time he touches it, you hold your breath, and everyone here in the stadium, they get excited as to what he brings to this offense. The kind of speed and then the determination. What I love about him, for a guy who's so fast and so quick, watch how he comes downhill and attacks the line of scrimmage. He's not a sideline runner, and I think he puts the defense on high alert with that speed.
Sets up a 1st and goal. Johnson gets the carry. And muscled down at the line of scrimmage. Clint Ingram and Reggie Hayward there. It's a loss of 1. Thomas Williams helping out as well.
Now, I tell you this, he is a speed guy. He's just not a big guy. So once I get inside the 10-yard line, I have to bring in Lindell White and let Lindell White do the dirty work, and you save Chris Johnson for when he's open in the field. 75 yards so far on the few touches he's had here in the first half.
The 24th overall pick in the first round. And Jeff Fisher believes he has someone special. 7th play of the drive. 2nd and goal now for Tennessee, looking to regain the lead. And Young will use a timeout with 3:15 remaining.
Now Vince is trying to help the rookie Chris Johnson and explain to him what needed to be done on that play.
So for the NFL kickoff weekend edition of The Wisdom of Solomon.
Who will be the best running back tandem in the NFL in 2008? Will it be Adrian Peterson or Chester Taylor in Minnesota? How about Ricky and Ronnie in Miami? And then D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, I think will be very good in 08 in Carolina. Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew. You said it. They combined for over 1,900 rushing yards last year. In my mind, they're the best tandem. But we know Lindell White did rush for over 1,000 yards last year. You throw Chris Johnson in the mix with Lindell White, the Titans got something special. A lot of NFL teams going to the 2-back rotation.
Solomon, that's the reality now. You've got to have 2.
Got to have 2. I agree.
After the timeout, Young throws it. Low throw. Johnson dives. Touchdown.
What a play by this kid, Chris Johnson. Even Vince knows the ball wasn't thrown well. It was a lot of work to make the catch and then to keep the balance and extend it into the end zone by Chris Johnson. A phenomenal play. He is the weapon. In my mind, a budding star here for the Tennessee Titans.
Johnson went horizontal.
You see that ball thrown low and behind him. He had to really fight just to keep his balance after the catch. But, boy, he was able to do it and still get it in for a touchdown.
Extra point for Ronas. 10-7. Titans, 7 plays, 75 yards, highlighted by the explosive ability of the rookie from East Carolina, Chris Johnson. Tennessee in front.
It's all coming down to a kick. A 30-yard field goal attempt to try to win it. Ball down, kick on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. And that's it.
Live from your pocket, it's the NFL. Get the new NFL Mobile Live free with any data plan. Only from Sprint. Only on the Now Network.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration. Driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Introducing Turbo HD by Dish Network. The only 100% HD service, featuring 1080p VOD and the best HD DVR. Packages start at just $24.99 a month. Turbo HD by Dish Network.
First NFL touchdown for the rookie Chris Johnson, a 7-play, 75-yard drive for the score.
Well, they got him the ball early in this game, and whenever he's touched it, I'm telling you right now, he's putting a lot of pressure on this Jacksonville defense, busting it to the second level, forcing Reggie Nelson to make a tackle. Even down inside the red zone, he's able to use his speed and make big plays when he touches it, and then catching it out of the backfield. I think an excellent job to control the catch and then control himself to get in for the touchdown.
Johnson accounted for 44 of those 75 yards on the drive. That's a short kick and handled by the up man, Tutan Reyes. Reyes showed up today. He's already been in at offensive line. Now he's returned a kick for Jacksonville. Well, you think you've seen it all on network television? Well, you can go inside the lies with The Mentalist. Series premiere Tuesday, September 23rd, after NCIS. So Jacksonville now playing from behind. It's 10-7 Tennessee. Just over 3 minutes to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage is the 34. Garrard to throw. Second read, it's Matt Jones. And Jones ridden out of bounds. Portland Finnegan there defensively. It's a 4-yard gain along the sideline route.
Once again, you see the patience in the read and progression for David Garrard. Went clearly to his right and then came all the way back to the left side when it wasn't open initially. He found Matt Jones and threw the ball with an excellent strike, but seemingly always under control, and the protection up front held up as well.
And Solomon, Michael Griffin is back for Tennessee defensively after having an arm issue on the last drive for Jacksonville. Here's Garrard on 2nd and 5. Garrard, hot throw, broken up. Reggie Williams, intended receiver, and then you saw the convergence, including Nick Harper defensively for Tennessee.
Well, it's a good throw from David Garrard, and you expect Reggie Williams to make this catch, hit him right there in the hands, but look at how fast and how physical this Titans secondary is. There was a window to complete the pass. Well thrown by the quarterback. Not a good catch by Reggie Williams.
Jacksonville all-time in season openers, 9-4. Best winning percentage in NFL history in that category. 3rd and 5, shotgun, Garrard moving pocket, throwing on the run, and on target to Dennis Northcutt. It's a first down. He put that pass right where it had to be, and they'll move the chains. Northcutt with the catch, 13 yards.
Another thing that makes David Garrard so exceptional, yes, he's on the move, but watch him throw this ball with great accuracy. The coverage there is tight, but that ball is right on the front number for Dennis Northcutt, and it's very difficult to not make the catch. He did do a double clutch, but you know, 3rd down, I think, is important for quarterbacks to be able to move the chains, pick up the first down. David Garrard's one of the best at it.
Injury for Tennessee. Jacob Ford just came off the field and is being tended to along the sideline. Ford in his 2nd year from Central Arkansas, an Achilles injury last season. And appears to be okay, trying to get himself back on the field. 2:09 to go in this first half. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower. They've got all the scores and highlights, plus a behind-the-scenes look at the grand opening of the CBS Scene, a one-of-a-kind entertainment and dining destination located next to the Patriots Stadium. And we'll have a U.S. Open update for you. It's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
You look at Jacob Ford going off the field. He's one of the budding stars on this defensive line in his 2nd year. No one does a better job, I think, of developing talent and getting the most out of their talent on the defensive line than their defensive line coach, Jim Washburn. Remember Kyle Vanden Bosch. Okay, 2-minute warning. Kyle Vanden Bosch was thought to be washed out with a bunch of injuries before he came here to Tennessee.
We've got 2 minutes to play in this first half, and Tennessee owns a 10-7 lead on Jacksonville.
You can settle down. You can fire it up.
You can tune it in, but it's still not summer until you bring it out. Introducing Bud Light Lime. It's the superior drinkability of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. One taste and you'll find the summer state of mind. It's in the lime. Bud Light Lime.
You want a lesson in HD TV?
Okay, smart guys. What's special about Samsung's new LCD and Plasma HD TVs?
Forget about motion blur. Check out news, sports, and weather on InfoLink.
Don't forget, touch of color design and get your Samsung at Sears.
Right now, get no interest for 2 years or save 10% instantly on all HD TVs 40 inches and larger. Plus, find more ultimate deals at Sears.com/football. Fall forward, only at Sears.
That's how we see it.
Well done, guys. Official HD TV of the NFL.
Hey, what's that?
This?
Yeah, that.
This is that.
That's this?
Yeah, that.
How is this that?
This is big news. Original Recipe has gone boneless. Introducing new KFC Original Recipe Strips. Boneless all-white meat chicken, freshly prepared with those famous 11 herbs and spices. It's a whole new way to enjoy Original Recipe on the go. Get the Original Recipe Strips deal for just $3.99.
This is this?
Yeah. And that's that.
Canon, official camera of the NFL, presents your choice for the Canon NFL photo of the preseason. The Patriots' Teddy Bruschi took one on the chin, and the Rams' Donnie Avery stretched out to make the catch. But the winning photo from the preseason was a touchdown leap from the Cowboys' Marion Barber.
Holy cow, over the top of the heap. Touchdown.
Go to NFL.com/photos to vote for the next Canon NFL photo of the week. Canon, official camera of the NFL.
Some people think I'm psychic. Truth is, there's no such thing as psychics. I'm just paying attention. I get caught up in the little things, the details. I can't help it. It's a gift. Or is it?
Simon Baker is The Mentalist. Coming CBS Tuesday, September 23rd.
Back at LT Field with 2 minutes to go in this first half. And the Jacksonville Jaguars with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Garrard faked the handoff, throws, and finds Matt Jones in the seam. Big gainer for Jones as he turns it upfield to the 15-yard line. Brought down by Harper. It covers 33 yards.
They get Keith Bullock matched up. You see Keith turning, but you see the separation by Matt Jones. We talked about him having an excellent training camp and really putting in the kind of work that Jack Del Rio has been wanting from him for quite some time. The focus has increased, and they expect the production will follow.
Well, let's face it, it's a make-or-break year for him in his NFL career. Matt Jones now in his 4th season out of Arkansas. First-round pick in 2005, down to a minute 17 left to play in the first half. On first down, Garrard wants to throw it again. Garrard, incomplete. He put it up in the air for Matt Jones, who could not bring it in. Cortland Finnegan had the 1-and-1 coverage for Tennessee.
Yeah, Jones has tremendous range. He's 6'6", 220. This ball just goes too high for him to be able to go up and get. Understanding that Garrard wanted to throw it over the head of the underneath coverage, but only where his guy can get it. You can see the wingspan on Matt Jones. I think he's capable of making some phenomenal plays.
Jacksonville now with 18 pass plays, 11 plays on the ground. Out of the shotgun, 2nd and 10. Garrard fumbles the football. Still loose. Vanden Bosch knocked it free. It's recovered by Tennessee.
Khalid Barnes had his hands full with Kyle Vanden Bosch, who's always a relentless worker. We talked about Garrard being very patient. I think on this play, he's a little bit too relaxed and maybe a little careless with the football, because watch Kyle Vanden Bosch underneath. Wow. And Vanden Bosch actually is able to get back up off the ground and recover the fumble that he calls. So he gets the fumble, gets the sack, and after a couple of guys miss the ball, it's Vanden Bosch who hustles to come up with it. We said he's a relentless worker, and he proved it on that play.
Went to the Pro Bowl, 12 sacks last year. He's got that high motor.
Yes, he does.
And one of the leaders of this team, voted as one of the team captains this year. Vanden Bosch, we talked about having to take on Jacksonville as Jacob Ford is hurt once again. Vanden Bosch said, yeah, this is a good first opponent. We want the extra juice. Divisional foe, physical. This is a great measuring stick for us right out of the gate.
Boy, teamed up with Jim Washburn, Kyle Vanden Bosch, turned his career around when he came here to the Tennessee Titans. And he is one excellent player. He's going to take it in. My work's done for this first half.
Well, the concern right now is for Jacob Ford. He was injured on a previous play. And Ford again, very slow to get up. Native of Memphis, Tennessee. Jeff Fisher's ability to rotate defensive linemen in.
Look at this. There's Ford. See, he's being held. 78. Trying to get on top of the ball. Someone just fell on him. Big Jacob. Or looked like Tony Pashos, I should say. 79. He fell on Jacob Ford. And that would hurt because Pasho goes about 325.
So the third time Garrard has been sacked here this afternoon with 1:01 remaining in this first half. Tennessee gets the ball back. They've got a 10-7 lead. And they've got 2 timeouts to work with. Out of the shotgun, Vince Young. Young steps, throws underneath, and it's Johnson. Chris Johnson short of the first down. Darrell Smith helped make sure of it, a 7-yard gain.
Less than a minute to go. Good time to evaluate the young quarterback, Vince Young, in his 3rd season to see how you use the time left on the clock to put your team in a position to score.
He's now thrown 7 interceptions in 5 career games against Jacksonville. A flag goes down. Rob Meyer supplying that pressure. 2 penalty markers on the play. They've split the season series, these 2 teams, in 3 of the last 4 years.
Illegal shift, offense. The player in motion never set with the rest of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
So set him back 5 yards. Young took a shot to the head.
Let's take a look here. Ball's going to be batted at the line of scrimmage. As you can see right there. Yeah, the big guy. There's a little kiss. I think he'll be okay.
A smooch?
Yeah. You know, got to let the quarterbacks know they're in a football game every now and then.
Quentin Groves was the one who got that penetration. Young, pocket collapsing, throws it up top. Separation, but could not make the connection with Gage. Incomplete.
I think the ball was well thrown. And what I'm seeing is that after the initial separation by the wide receivers for the Tennessee Titans, there's no other gear. I mean, you have Justin Gage. He's about a 4'6" guy. Justin McCarron's usually a possession receiver, a 4'6" guy, but not that burner to really be able to turn it up and be able to close in on the football.
Well, if there was one void that people zeroed in on with this team, this roster, it was at the wide receiver position heading into this year. On the handoff, it's Johnson. Whoa, Chris Johnson. He's going to come up short of the first down, but Jacksonville Jaguars are out to welcome Chris Johnson to the NFL on that carry as he got out into space. If you like CSI, stick around for 11th hour. Series premiere is set for Thursday, October 9th, right here on CBS. So 22 seconds remain now. And they used a timeout on 4th and 1. There's really no reason to stop the clock at that point if you've conceded the fact that this drive is over. Craig Hentrick will punt it. Hentrick gets it off cleanly. Brian Witherspoon will let it bounce. And it trickles into the end zone for a touchback. So 13 seconds remain. And Jacksonville will have it at its own 20-yard line.
Well, this game is going just the way we kind of thought it would go. We thought both teams would try to come out and run the ball. We thought the defenses would be very good. And I think the one thing that we asked ourselves, would Vince Young be able to take care of the football? His interception led to the only touchdown that Jacksonville has on the day, and a quarterback you don't expect to turn it over. David Garrard has had one fumble, but he has managed his team very well. I think right now the real challenge for Jacksonville has been the offensive line. Right now, I think Tennessee's defensive front is taking it to them.
Well, this is an offense that got very creative in the second half of last season, so we'll see what adjustments Dirk Cutter makes at halftime, the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars, but they have not been able to find a flow on offense in the first half. We've hit the break here in Nashville. Titans with a 10-7 lead on the Jags. We're coming back.
Join Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Fergie, Keith Urban, Mariah Carey, and more.
What's up, Fashion Rock?
Dennis Leary hosts Fashion Rocks, CBS Tuesday.
We got a possible abduction of an officer.
Everybody get down!
Find it!
Everybody get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous.
Let me see those hands now.
Do it now.
Please help.
TV's #1 comedy returns. The 2.5 Men season premiere Monday, September 22nd.
Lots of choices here. It's confusing.
Look, most major sports are shot on Sony HD cameras.
So if sports are shot on a Sony, shouldn't you watch them on one?
Yes. I don't really like sports.
Nothing's better for sports than a Sony Bravia HD TV. High definition. It's in Sony's DNA.
This Mexican Independence Day, Juan Manuel Marquez is back. Now he steps up in weight to face his toughest challenge, lightweight champion Joel Casamayor. Plus, the rematch of the year as Vernon Forrest seeks revenge against world champion contender superstar Sergio Mora. The challenge, Casamayor Marquez, Mora Forrest. Saturday, September 13th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view.
When applying to college, 86% of students prefer to visit schools without a parent. This is why.
Road trip! Road trip!
Oh, no.
From Walt Disney Pictures.
How's the daddy-daughter bonding going?
Great!
Just don't embarrass me, okay?
How can I embarrass you?
Melanie, I got your lemonade.
Sip on that. College Road Trip.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
And welcome back to our New York studios and the Sprint Halftime Report. Last night we had the great pleasure of attending the grand opening of the CBS Scene up in Foxborough. It's a one-of-a-kind entertainment and dining destination. The CBS Scene. Located right next to Gillette Stadium in New England's Patriot Place. And yesterday, the final preparations were made for the grand opening of this 3-story, 15,000 square foot combination of food, fun, and technology. The Scene is state-of-the-art, but it also pays homage to the past. The legendary tradition of CBS's unforgettable programming is on display, as visitors can enjoy a bite while watching classic or current CBS shows. It's the realization of a dream shared by the leaders of two great organizations.
Bob envisioned a sports bar to be maybe the central location where there are high-tech screens and right attached to the stadium, and we love the idea on 100 different levels.
I made a phone call to this guy. He said, send me a paragraph. I sent it to him. It's been the easiest deal, and we all feel like it's our child that we want to grow and be very special.
Fun for the families, fun for the fans, fun for the players. Everybody can come down and enjoy this, and I'm sure all the players will.
And who knows how far the synergy between CBS and the Patriots might go.
I'm going to give Bill Belichick advice. That's a first.
Representing excellence in football and in the field of broadcasting, the CBS Scene is the next generation in dining, media, and entertainment. And the official review by Dan Marino was
Yeah, it was great.
2 thumbs up. All good
Thumbs up,
indeed.
man.
We had a great time. The NFL on CBS will continue in a moment.
Dick Enberg here at the U.S. Open, where the buzz is about Andy Murray. He holds a 2-0 lead over world number 1 Rafael Nadal in their rain-delayed men's semi. They'll resume play later today after football on CBS. Then tonight in prime time, Serena Williams and Jelena Jankovic meet for the women's championship at 9 Eastern under the lights in New York.
Go! Hit the road with the new Amazing Race.
Girls from South Carolina might be a little slow, but we're not stupid.
Real people.
When I cheated on Tina, I've got to prove I'm worthy of her love.
Real places.
Don't look up and don't look down.
Real emotion.
I love you.
The all-new Amazing Race premieres CBS Sunday, September 28th.
Play Sprint Fantasy Pick against the NFL Today team to win cash prizes. It's free and fast. Go to cbssports.com/Sprint Fantasy Pick and get in the game.
After Vikings practice, Adrian Peterson hung out with my friends and me.
Ready?
I showed off my pump, pass, and kick skills, and I think he was impressed.
Pretty good. That's nice. We got pretty good arms, too.
We had a great workout, and I didn't want the day to end.
I'm Adrian Peterson, and I'm part of the NFL movement for an active generation. For great play ideas, visit NFLrush.com.
3rd and 5 for the Browns. Hey, what's the score? Broncos up by 3. But Browns about to score, baby. Go, who's winning the game?
When all you want is to know what's cooking.
Play fake, Romo deep to the middle.
When you want to hear the game, but you're out on the range.
Yeah. How about them Cowboys?
3rd and 14 if you care to nitpick.
When all you want is to never miss a highlight.
Second touchdown of the night.
When all you want is football.
I'm James Brown in New York. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, scores and highlights, including Brett Favre's Jets debut against the Dolphins. After this word from your local station.
All started with a big bang. New season begins CBS Monday, September 22nd.
The Wall Street Journal said that if the badges were removed, it could be mistaken for a Lexus. That the interior is every bit as nice as anything Lexus has ever dreamed up. Introducing the all-new Hyundai Genesis. If Lexus isn't nervous, it should be. Motor Trend said that. Find out more at HyundaiGenesis.com.
This season, transform your baseball experience. MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. Bring your favorite teams and players right into your living room with up to 80 out-of-market games a week. Put every pitch, every hit, and every play into your rotation today. MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. Order now for just one payment of $59. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
You've seen the rumble, experienced the elimination chamber, and felt hell in a cell. Now, a new innovation will put champions in jeopardy like never before. It's the first ever championship scramble. 5 superstars. After 20 minutes, only one can be called the official champion.
Those odds practically guarantee there'll be a new champion.
WWE Unforgiven. Live Sunday, September 7th on DirecTV pay-per-view.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
And welcome back to our New York studios and the Sprint halftime report. I'm James Brown, along with my guys, Dan, Bill, Shannon, and Boomer. The score at the half, Titans on top, 10-7, a defensive battle. Only 11 rushing yards by Jacksonville.
Hey, is the AFC wide open now, guys? Who knows? Bernard Pollard comes in and hits Tom Brady right on the left knee. Tom Brady is helped off the field. They take him right into the locker room. Questionable status on the return. We do not have an update at this point in time. That's the bad news. The good news is backup Matt Castle comes in, engineers a 10-play, 98-yard drive with a 10-yard touchdown pass right there to Randy Moss. 7-3 over the Kansas City Chiefs at halftime.
Hey, Jet fans, anytime you have a quarterback that's thrown for over 400 touchdowns in the league, you give him time to throw, he's going to go deep to Jericho Cotchery. That is 56 yards for a touchdown, puts the Jets up 7-0. Then Chad Pennington comes back. He connects with Anthony Fasano. Fasano for a touchdown, 7-7. And Brett Favre on 4th down, time to throw, gets pressure, throws it up, touchdown to Chancey. Chancey stuck. He took the chance with Chancey, and he got a touchdown. Brett Favre up 13-7.
Coach! Well, Shannon called it early in the pregame. Seattle has troubles going east, and they do it here. And you can see Roscoe Parrish is going to take this punt. He's going to go 63 yards for the touchdown. Marshawn Lynch is going to add a 21-yard touchdown. And 17-7, it's Buffalo jumping all over Seattle.
In the meantime, Rams and Eagles.
Big day first half for Donovan McNabb. 14-20, 274 yards, and he puts the ball in the basket. Pink basket, 90 yards. Catch it. Okay, maybe not. 21-0 at the half, JB. Eagles all over the Rams.
Yes, indeed. All right, meanwhile, in Baltimore, Bengals losing 10-3 there. Cincinnati has won 3 of the last 4 meetings in Baltimore, but trailing by 7 here. Bale.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers, I'll tell you, 21-3. They're all over Houston.
Your guy, Willie Parker, doing a nice job there, too.
Touchdown.
All right. And we take a look at the Buccaneers and the Saints. 10-7 ball game there as well. Lions and Falcons, boom. All right, take a look at this. Here's Matt Ryan's first pass as an NFL quarterback. Guess what? It goes 62 yards for a touchdown. It doesn't look like a rookie to me. After that, he kind of calmed down a little bit. Michael Turner got to be one of the best offseason additions of any team signed as a free agent away from the San Diego Chargers. This was LaDainian Tomlinson's backup. 10 carries, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A fantasy player's delight. Detroit, 2 late touchdowns before the half. On fire right now offensively. All right, and thanks for watching the Sprint Halftime Report. Second half after this.
CBS kicks off college football with the number 2 team in the country, Georgia, battling South Carolina. The SEC on CBS. College football at its best.
Okay, let's get started. Tom, how are we doing?
Well, at FedEx office, ground shipping rates are less than at the UPS store, which has substantially reduced overhead.
And with the savings, we were able to buy these massage chairs.
Everybody likes a good massage.
Sorry, I'm late.
Right there.
Ooh.
Relax, it's FedEx.
Here at LP Field, getting set for second half action. 10-7, Tennessee leading Jacksonville. Back here in the broadcast booth, Ian Eagle along with Solomon Wilcots. Opening weekend in the NFL. We were expecting old school, smash mouth, physical football. That's what we've gotten, and it's been a lot of the defense. Tennessee in particular. Wow, what a performance.
They have a 3-point lead because, yes, they have been able to put pressure on the quarterback, David Garrard, and they've held Jacksonville to only 11 yards rushing in the first half. 3 sacks on the quarterback for this Titans. This all starts with their defensive front. Kyle Vanden Bosch, very active along with Ainsworth, and then the linebackers, Keith Bullock, David Thornton. Everyone getting involved in putting pressure on the quarterback, creating turnovers. More importantly, if they can hold up to defending the run for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they may be able to hold the lead. We'll see what defense wears down here in the second half.
Those halftime numbers, 11 rushing yards for Jacksonville in the first half. So Tennessee will receive this second half kickoff after deferring following the coin toss before the game. Chris Carr is the deep man. Josh Scobie gets us started here in the third quarter. And Carr will take it out of the end zone 1 yard deep. Slowed down as he hit the 15-yard line and then stumbles his way to the 20. Montel Owens on special teams. It's a 21-yard return. Vince Young in that first half, 7 of 12, 72 yards, a touchdown, and a pick for the third-year QB out of Texas.
Mixed results, some good, some bad. Even on the touchdown pass, not to, split hairs a little bit, but it was not a well-thrown ball, but Chris Johnson made an excellent play on it, and so it turned out good for Vince. Conversely, he's thrown some really good balls that receivers have dropped and not made plays on.
And no surprise, it's Chris Johnson in there to start this third quarter. Johnson finds a running lane and takes it through for a 7-yard gain, setting up 2nd and 3.
Mike Heimerdinger, offense coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. What do you want to do here in the second half? I think you start by giving the ball to the player with the hot hand. That is Chris Johnson. It takes pressure off Vince Young, takes some pressure maybe off the offensive line, allow them to do what they do best, and that is run block and try to wear down this Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, we asked Heimerdinger and Young about Johnson. They both said, we don't coach him on the physical part.
That's right.
We don't touch that. Just the mental part of the game. Johnson finds another hole, and he's got a first down with a zigzag across the 40. Good block from David Stewart. It's a 15-yard gain for Johnson.
They're running on the right side. Jake Scott, David Stewart at the right tackle position, and then the fullback. Also, Ahmad Hall getting out in front of it, number 45. Look at it, man on a man. They're getting bodies on every white jersey on the defensive side of the ball, and Johnson, I think, doing a really good job of showing patience and decision-making as he's pressing the line of scrimmage and getting through the hole.
22-year-old native of Orlando, Florida, in his rookie season out of East Carolina. On first down, Young airing it out. Deep ball, one-on-one coverage. Incomplete. Wow. Justin McCarron.
Right in his hands. That ball hit him right in the hands. And I think the ball has been thrown well at times by Vince Young, but it's not. Now, see, also there's some pass interference. See the hand grab? Okay, there was a hand grab by the defender for Jacksonville, but that ball hit McCarron's right in the mittens. You've got to be able to make plays for your quarterback.
McCarron's now in his 8th year. Had his best season back in 2003. 47 catches, 813 yards, 7 touchdowns. And that was a catchable ball, which would have been a big gainer into Jacksonville territory, up the middle. And it's John Henderson making the stop. Mike Peterson there as well, 2.5-yard gain.
Now, this is a situation you would like to be able to avoid with your quarterback, Vince Young. 3rd and long, because at this point, you got to pin your ears back and you come after Vince. What teams have been doing and what Jacksonville has been doing today is coming with a controlled rush, forcing him to make plays from the pocket throwing the football. You can't come out of control because then he'll break containment and pick up the first down by running the ball.
They have not converted on 3rd down yet today. Young on a little flip. Bo Scape is going to come up short of the first down at midfield. Reggie Hayward and Reggie Nelson there defensively.
Yeah, we talk about quarterbacks making good decisions. I think Vince Young would have been better served by actually keeping the football running. He had a wide open field out in front of him, but took the conservative approach, yes, wanting to throw the ball, get the completion to Bo Scape. But he would have been better served keeping it and running it, and he would have picked up the first down.
And now 0 of 6 on 3rd down conversions here this afternoon. On 4th down, Craig Hendrick to punt it. Dennis Northcutt standing at the 10. High kick, and Northcutt's going to let it bounce. It rolls into the end zone. Eric King was down there, did not have a great angle. It's a 50-yard punt, but a net of just 30. It's a tight one in Nashville.
All right, your fare is going to be $69.
Wow, it's not bad. That's it?
Yeah. Oh, and give me $25 for a bag fee, $15 for a booking fee. Why don't you just give me your whole wallet? Give me the whole thing. Give it to me now. Give me. Is there a problem?
Yeah, but that's more than you said it would be.
Hidden fees are the other side of some low fares. But on Southwest Airlines, what you see is what you pay. Low fares, no hidden fees.
Hi. What can I get for $1?
That's yours.
How far can I get with this?
You can get out.
How tan can I get for this? That's it? Hi. What can I get for this?
How about 2 sizzling, 100% pure beef patties with all the amenities and an irresistible classic known fondly as the double cheeseburger? Huh?
Wow.
Now more than ever, McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Hello.
Hey man, how are you? It's me. Give me a...
Just to say, I spoke to Mom this morning.
Alright, cool. No, it's basically...
What do you tell me? Yeah.
Oh, really?
07.
Download free ringtones from today's hottest artists only at Motorola.com. The Rocker E8, exclusively at T-Mobile.
Hello, Moto. Last season, a lot of things changed on How I Met Your Mother. But one thing will never change. I am awesome. Season premiere Monday, September 22nd.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Tennessee 10, Jacksonville 7. 12:07 to go in the third quarter. And the Jaguars take over a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Taylor the lone setback. Garrard off the plate fake, throwing over the middle. And catch is made by Mercedes Lewis.
This is how you make a play for your quarterback. And now they're saying he didn't make the play. Lewis is 6'6". He's trying to go down into the dirt to dig it out for David Garrard. Now the officials are saying it's no longer a catch.
37 catches last season. Let's see if he trapped it.
There it is. See, the ball hit the ground. You know what? That should be ruled a catch. Just because the ball touches the ground doesn't mean that it's not a catch, but he did catch it and control it as he rolled over.
We'll take a break. Injury on the field. We'll update you on that when we come back to Nashville.
It's all coming down to a kick. A 30-yard field goal attempt to try to win it. Ball down. Kick on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. And that's it.
Live from your pocket, it's the NFL. Get the new NFL Mobile Live free with any data plan. Only from Sprint. Only on the Now Network.
The devil is building his army. Max Payne is looking for something that God wants hidden. That makes him dangerous.
When the people a man needs get taken away from him, you can't ever go back to who you were before.
This film is not yet rated.
What if every ATM was free? No more $2, $3 fees. No more paying to access your own money. It'd be like every ATM in the world was your ATM. The Schwab Bank High Yield Investor Checking Account. 0 ATM fees, a great interest rate, no minimums. And it's FDIC insured. The Schwab Bank High Yield Investor Checking Account. The biggest thing in checking since checks. Open an account at 1-800-4-SCHWAB or schwab.com.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Charles Schwab, premium service. Expect it, don't pay it. Talk to Chuck, Charles Schwab.
Couple of things. Vince Manuel was the player that was injured, so they had shifted Waneri to left guard, and Tutan Reyes is now at right guard. They decided not to challenge that. Jack Del Rio used the challenge in the first half and lost on a give for Fred Taylor, and he has not been able to find running room throughout the day. Ryan Fowler, first man there, and a 6-yard gain for Taylor.
So much leakage through the Jacksonville offensive line as Fred Taylor took the handoff from David Garrard. So take a look at Manuel on the sideline. Fred Taylor having to do everything he can just to gain a yard in this game. 8 carries, 13 yards on the day for Fred Taylor.
6-yard gain, the longest of the day on the ground. 3rd and 4. Shotgun Garrard, 3-receiver set. Protection is there. Garrard throws for the first down on the sideline toss to Troy Williamson. Williamson, a talented player, came over from Minnesota. This is a fresh start for him. Former first-round draft pick, just trying to rejuvenate his career.
But as you can see, the swarming defense for the Titans, Williamson makes the catch, but you have to really be impressed with the way Harper, the cornerback to that side, was able to close. They don't give you much. No yards after contact today. No yards after the catch. So a good tackling defense for Jim Schwartz, the defense coordinator for Tennessee, playing very well today.
And a new set of downs to work with on first down. Play fake. Garrard was looking for the long ball. He'll throw it. Deep ball downfield. Jump ball opportunity. Wow. Wrestled for it. Tennessee's got it. Cortland Finnegan in a fight with Williamson. And the Titans corner wins it.
This is an excellent play by Cortland Finnegan, the third-year cornerback from Samford. Remember, stepped in a year ago for Pac-Man Jones when they expected him to be the guy. And all Cortland Finnegan did is earn himself a new contract because he makes plays like this. The ability to play the ball in the air. Ball skills are never underestimated in the NFL. Watch this. He becomes the receiver and steals the ball from Troy Williamson. And David Garrard's trusting that Williamson's going to fight and come down with it. It was Cortland Finnegan who made the better play.
You almost have to say it slowly so people understand. Not Stanford, Samford, which is in Alabama. Finnegan makes the play, and Garrard throws a pick on the outside for Bo Scaife. Remember, Garrard had only 3 interceptions all of last season, and that's his first INT today.
Well, that's a cornerback just making a play. David Garrard did what he was supposed to do, put the ball on top and allowed his receiver a chance to make the play. But I'm telling you, Cortland Finnegan had an excellent training camp. The coaches are just crazy about his talent. And I think we saw something there that lets you know he's a special player.
On 2nd and 4, under 10 minutes to go in the third. Handoff to Lendale White. He breaks through, and White's got a first down. The thunder and lightning combination that Jeff Fisher visualizes with Lendale White and Chris Johnson. 9-yard gain coming up next. U.S. Open men's semifinal. Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray have to pick up their match that began yesterday. Then U.S. Open women's championship, Serena Williams and Jelena Jankovic. Tomorrow, the men's championship. Federer takes on the survivor of Nadal Murray. All of it here on CBS. What a steal Cortland Finnegan has turned out to be. A 7th-round draft pick in 2006. On first down, White gets back-to-back carries. And things beginning to loosen up on the inside, where Johnson has been able to do a lot of his damage darting to the perimeter. We know White likes to work in between the tackles.
Everybody talks about the 17 interceptions thrown last year by Vince Young. But you see, the running backs are very productive for this football team. But when you have a defense that plays the way Tennessee does, and you have an offensive line that play the way that they do, that's how you can get to the playoffs despite turning it over. I think if he protects the ball, they can win more games.
It's White again, and not much there on second down. A 2-yard gain. Mike Peterson, Paul Spicer involved in that stop for Jacksonville. It sets up 3rd and about 3 for the first down. Now Chris Johnson will come on to replace White on 3rd and short.
They bring in the extra wide receivers. They're going to go with a spread formation. I think in spread formation, it gives you the idea they're going to pass it, and he will be in the shotgun, will Vince Young. But remember, Vince, you can take off and run it. After 1 hitch and 2 hitches, now you got to get out of there and look to make a play.
They are yet to convert on 3rd down. Young throwing, timing route, incomplete, and it was Johnson, the intended receiver, streaking down the sideline in a matchup with the linebacker Darrell Smith.
Now he had Johnson, and we know Johnson has the speed to close on the ball. This is just an overthrow by Young. Okay, he's got to step on the linebacker. You've got to be able to drop that one over the top, I think with a better trajectory to get it over the top of the linebacker where the running back, Chris Johnson, can make a catch on the ball.
Now, you mentioned it earlier. Heimerdinger said we are not going to mess with the throwing motion. Footwork, that was a different issue. We had to kind of start from scratch with Vince on that front. They got a piece of Craig Hendrick. So this one takes a bounce, partially blocked. And Jacksonville's going to have the football at the 46. Gerald Sensabaugh breaking through the line. It's an 18-yard punt. We're coming back.
Get to everything you love in life with BlackBerry.
Do you know me? I created the Muppets.
Oh, yes.
That was a wicked googly.
Hello, John Cleese here.
Those my birds? I think so. Need those.
Does this side look heavy to you?
Here, we have the protagonist, but where's the antagonist? Huh? Where's the drama?
The American Express card.
Don't leave home without it!
Card members have always made a difference. Now you can too. Get involved in Members Project from American Express and help change people's lives. To learn more, visit membersproject.com.
It's all hands on deck. Warwick Brown is our only case.
She's carrying a highly contagious virus.
Warwick, stay with me. You have to fix it.
NFL debut for the rookie Chris Johnson, and he has been a difference maker so far. Johnson on the ground, 84 yards, and through the air, 34 yards and a touchdown, the lone touchdown for the Titans today. But Jacksonville with an opportunity here after the partially blocked punt from the 46. Pump, couple of pumps. Garrard slings it just short of the first down. Reggie Williams with the catch. And Cortland Finnegan with the stop. 8-yard gain for Jacksonville into Tennessee territory. Check out the new and improved NFL.com Game Center with Red Zone Audio and the Big Play Ticker. It's all exclusively at NFL.com.
Did you like the way David Garrard showed patience? He went through his progression, maybe 4 different guys, and then came all the way to the backside to find an open receiver and remain calm under pressure.
Yeah, maintained his footwork on the inside instead of forcing his offensive line into trouble. Garrard throwing. Catch made by Jones. And Matt Jones with another grab, this time inside the 25. And the Jaguars are in business here in the third quarter. 22-yard pass play. Let's head to New York. Check in with JB.
Hey, Ian and Solomon, without the injured Tom Brady, Matt Castle guiding the Patriots downfield. 11 plays, 80 yards, capped by that 5-yard run by Sammy Morris. Brody Croyle, right shoulder contusion for Kansas City. Damon Hewitt in his place. 14-3, Patriots, Ian and Solomon.
Well, not the way that Kansas City wanted to open the season. First taking on New England, and now Brody Croyle down with an injury. How about Castle getting an opportunity? Garrard throwing to Greg Jones. Jones had the touchdown reception earlier, Jacksonville's only point of the day. And that's a 4-yard gain with under 6 minutes to go now in the third.
And right now, the offensive line doing a much better job of giving David Garrard ample time to survey the field, to go through his progression, and typically going to maybe the third or fourth guy. And that's how much of a better job Jack Del Rio's offensive line is doing in terms of protecting the quarterback.
Line of scrimmage is the Tennessee 20. This is a 2nd and 6 for the Jaguars. Maurice Jones-Drew is in. Motion man is Williams. Garrard, bootleg. Looking for the open man. Garrard keeps it himself. And the Titans were all over it. Michael Griffin just read his keys, and it'll go down as a sack. Loss of 4. Great play by the safety.
When they roll out, you have 3 receivers to that side. You have a high-low, but in the middle is the tight end, Mercedes Lewis. As you see the pressure come in on the quarterback, Griffin's able to get the sack, but Lewis fell down on the play. That's who David Garrard wanted to go to, because everyone else was just decoys. But once Mercedes Lewis went down, then David Garrard was a sitting duck for a sack.
Back it up to the 24. 3rd and 10 now for Jacksonville. Crowd comes alive here at LP Field. Out of the shotgun, Garrard throwing on the quick toss. Williamson, he had too much room to make up to try to get that first down as Nick Harper closed in in a hurry.
I could tell you, I'm very much impressed at how the Tennessee Titans defense, they play fast. Now watch the close by Harper. See, he breaks not even a chance for Williamson to gain an inch, let alone a yard, after making the catch. And we've seen that throughout the day where they continue to be fast and physical at the point of attack.
So Josh Scobie on for the field goal attempt, 37 yards. Trying to tie this one up here in the third quarter. Podlish will hold it. Zelenka is the snapper. From 37 yards away, Scobie. No good. He missed it to the right.
At the 27-yard line.
Scobie wants to talk about it. He was like, how is that no good? But it goes right over the top of the goalpost. Not through.
It happens to every guy. While you sleep, your skin dehydrates. Prepare to defeat dry skin with new Gillette Dry Skin Hydrator and Body Wash. It combines a deep cleaning body wash with 3 times the hydrators for a powerful defense against dry skin. You'll step out of the shower feeling like you can take on the world. New Gillette 2-in-1 Dry Skin Hydrator and Body Wash. Unleash the power of your shower.
All right, enjoy your tastings. These people have no idea the pasta they're about to have was actually delivered by Pizza Hut.
What does she got? Mac and cheese with the bacon? It's so decadent.
The flavor just comes out.
Yeah, it's not too heavy. I like it.
Good evening, everyone. Could I have your attention, please? Pizza Hut delivered the pasta.
Good.
They love Toscani pastas from Pizza Hut, like our newest recipe, premium bacon mac and cheese, medium marinara, or creamy chicken Alfredo. 3 pounds delivered with breadsticks for $12.99. Now get pasta from Pizza Hut.
Look, the mountains on this Coors Light cold-activated bottle turned blue and the beer is cold. How can you tell your beer is cold without it?
I can't do it. You know, I just can't do it.
Coach, when was the first time you saw the mountains turn blue?
91, when we won the division.
It wasn't invented yet.
When the mountains turn blue, your beer is cold and ready for kickoff.
Please nod if you like the following. A taste as cold as the Rockies. Cold-activated bottles. Shirts with random triangles.
Don't miss the season premiere of CSI Miami, Monday, September 22nd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut. It's true. Pizza Hut is now delivering Toscani pastas. Order today. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
37-yard field goal attempt by Scobie is ruled no good. It is not reviewable as it skied over the post. And Tennessee takes over with Wendell White getting the call to the outside. He picks up maybe half a yard as a little extracurricular after the play. Mike Peterson makes the stop. Let's take another look.
Yeah, see, it doesn't go through it. It goes right over the top of the goalpost. It has to go through it. It is the job of the kicker to knock it through. If it doesn't go through, then it's not good. And if you stop it, see it right there, you can see as it goes right over the top, and the official, you know, it's not his job to decide as to whether or not it nicked the inside area. If it goes right over the top, it's ruled no good. Josh Scobie actually wanted to have a conversation with the officials about it.
And let's point out, this was something talked about with the officials, NFL officials, before the season started. This is not reviewable.
Not reviewable.
Final decision on the field counts. So Vince Young trying to scramble. Justin Durant was there. It's a 4-yard gain. Tell you what, Solomon, we have not seen very much of that from Young here today. He's been trying to hang in there in the pocket and make throws, and there were a couple of chances that you brought up where he probably should have tucked and run.
I think there are times when he has to understand you have to use what is given to you. Sure, you're going to look to throw the ball first, but when you have an opportunity to extend the downs by running to pick up a first down, I think you have to take advantage of it.
That officially is his first carry of the day on a 3rd and 5. Handed off to Johnson. Makes a cut. And not much room after that. Rashean Mathis helping in run support. And that was a very quiet 3 and out for the Tennessee offense.
Yeah, but a very good 3 and out for the Jacksonville defense. A much better job of defending against Chris Johnson, something they struggled to do in the first half of this football game.
So Craig Hentrick on. had his last punt partially blocked. Now in his 15th year in the NFL, has always been a very solid directional punter and consistent through the years. Brian Witherspoon at the 22. Splits defenders, and Witherspoon stays on his feet. Craig Henry gets his helmet in there to make the play. And Witherspoon, the rookie out of Stillman, he's had a good day in his NFL debut. That's a 16-yard return. It's a 3-point game here in Nashville.
Talk about a wake-up call. I had a heart attack at 57. My doctor told me I should have been doing more for my high cholesterol. What was I thinking? But now, I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries if you have several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I learned the hard way. But you may be able to do something.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
Can I get a little help here? Hello.
Hey. We all upgraded to Verizon Wireless. Got push-to-talk and the reliability of the network. That old service is useless now. Careful. Cement.
Don't be the last one standing with another push-to-talk. Switch to the only one that comes with a network. Activate push-to-talk on 5 business lines to get these great deals. Verizon Wireless.
Some guys have all the luck.
Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, sweet Lord.
Some guys don't.
I feel sick.
On September 22nd, it's Mr. Lucky.
Are you ready for me?
Bravo.
Followed by Mr. Unlucky.
It's Mel's friend Sam in a giant plastic diaper.
Worst week after 2.5 Men, CBS premiere Monday.
On first down with 1:39 to go in the third quarter, Maurice Jones-Drew sets up as a receiver for Jacksonville from their own 37. Here's Garrard. Rush is coming and sacked. Back at the 29-yard line. Vickerson and Jones combined to bring him down the 5th Tennessee sack of the day.
They do a good job of containing him, but see, it's the pressure of Jones. It's right up the middle, but see how they contain him? He can't get out, but it's the pressure that comes right up the middle from both defensive tackles, pushing the pocket into the face of David Garrard. It collapses on him. He has nowhere to go and nowhere to escape.
Tennessee clinging to a 3-point lead as we wind down here in the third quarter. Now a 2nd and 17 for Jacksonville. From the 30. Garrard on the give. Maurice Jones-Drew plunging through the line and powering his way out across the 40-yard line. Just look at those thighs. That's all you have to do to see where the power comes from for diminutive Maurice Jones-Drew.
We met with him yesterday. He said he wants to continue to build on the success of his first 2 seasons. Look at him move the pile. And Michael Griffin is a physical safety, and Jones-Drew takes him for a ride. Look at those thighs. Those are like pistons. Only for Ferrari.
His 4th carry of the day. He's got 14 yards. Their running game has been held in check. Garrard throwing. Jones comes back for the football. Little spin move trying to get first down yardage. Cortland Finnegan there defensively, and it is absolutely enough for a first down.
Right now, Jacksonville has something going on offense. Jack Del Rio wanting this offensive line to start getting movement up front. If he can run the football, you can control the game.
End of the third quarter. Our eyes are wide open for this one. 10-7 Titans.
After football, Rafa Nadal and Andy Murray continue their battle in the men's semis. Tonight, Serena Williams and Jelena Jokovic in the women's championship. The U.S. Open on CBS.
Survivor Gabon premieres CBS Thursday, September 25th.
Lots of choices here.
It's confusing.
Look,
most major sports are shot on Sony HD cameras.
So if sports are shot on a Sony, shouldn't you watch them on one?
Yes. I don't really like sports.
Nothing's better for sports than a Sony Bravia HD TV. High definition. It's in Sony's DNA.
It goes 0 to 60 faster than a Porsche Boxster. It outcorners the Mercedes E550 and the BMW 550i. Introducing the all-new 375 horsepower Hyundai Genesis. The barrier to luxury has just been officially kicked in. Find out more at HyundaiGenesis.com.
For great college football from across the country, you need ESPN Game Plan from DirecTV. With key matchups and rivalries from major conferences, ESPN Game Plan has up to 12 games every Saturday from outside your local area. Order now and you'll be all set for a full season of college football with ESPN Game Plan from DirecTV. Only 2 payments of $64.50 each. To order, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or go to directtv.com/gameplan.
The Titans and their fans trying to stay cool as we get set for the fourth quarter here in Nashville. Ian Eagle, Solomon Wilcox, the rest of our CBS crew, producer Bob Dekas, director Andy Goldberg. Tennessee with a 10-7 lead over the Jaguars. First play of the fourth. Jacksonville has it, a 1st and 10 at the 48. Here's Garrard in the pocket. Late rush, Garrard gets rid of the football. It's Maurice Jones-Drew making moves to the 45-yard line. And that's where he's brought down after the pickup of 7.
You talk about how good of a tackling defense this Tennessee Titans group is. One guy they can't seem to get down on impact is Maurice Jones-Drew. And what does Shannon call him? The pocket Hercules. Here he is in space. 5'7", 210 pounds. He's just bouncing off of would-be defenders. They can't tackle him and can't wrap him up.
3 catches today, 22 yards, and now a 2nd and 7. A 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard gain. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, driven backwards. Tony Brown leading the charge with Chris Hope. It'll probably be a loss of 1 on the play as we head to New York and check in with JB.
Ian and Solomon, I felt that hit back here, but take a look at Damon Hewitt here. 10 plays, 63-yard bullet to Dwayne Bowe, 13-yard strike. Hewitt, 4 for 4, 33 yards and a touchdown. He narrowed the gap, 14-10 against New England. That in the 4th. Ian Eagle and Solomon Wilcox.
JB, you have to wonder if the Patriots have a fragile psyche without Tom Brady in the lineup. See if Kansas City can take advantage of it.
Left knee injury. Brady will not return. Garrard driven backward. It looked like he had some daylight, but Albert Hainsworth is like a human eclipse.
Both he and Kyle Vanden Bosch. And bodies are strewn all over the field for the Tennessee Titans. Stephen Tulloch down as well. But boy, are they getting the kind of penetration. Coming right at you, right up the middle, 92. Albert Hainsworth, and here come the troops. Stephen Tulloch, Kyle Vanden Bosch, all getting a hit on the quarterback.
Hainsworth is up, but Tulloch is still down. A timeout.
Fuel economy isn't just about the fuel tank. My group is thinking about renewable materials to replace petroleum-based ones in cars. The first time we tried to incorporate soy foam, it basically collapsed. But after many, many formulation changes, we now meet all the specifications for a good automotive foam. Green isn't just about fuel efficiency, it's also about sustainability. I think it's very important to preserve the environment, and I think we need to do it now. I'm Debbie Molesky, and this is the Ford Escape Hybrid. Drive one.
Lots of choices here.
It's confusing.
Look, most major sports are shot on Sony HD cameras.
So if sports are shot on a Sony, shouldn't you watch them on one?
Yes. I don't really like sports.
Nothing's better for sports than a Sony Bravia HD TV. High definition. It's in Sony's DNA.
Dude,
Can you believe it? We're about to tuck into some World Championship barbecue. This is the place. It's the Jack Championship Barbecue at Fridays. They went down to Lynchburg, Tennessee to the greatest barbecue competition in the world. Grabbed the winning sauce and put it on some of their best dishes. And it starts just $5.99. Where else would you want to be? Just keeps getting better. Give me more Fridays.
The football coach is in control.
I'm ready to take this thing all the way to the top.
But will his closest ally stick to the game plan?
If I get to the last 3, I will take you with me.
The new Big Brother, CBS Tonight.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
(10-7), Tennessee leading Jacksonville. 4th down for the Jaguars, and Adam Podlesh punting to Chris Carr, standing at his own 8-yard line. And fair catch called for. Actually had some room to work with as he heard footsteps on special teams. So Tennessee pinned deep. How do they handle it? We'll find out with Vince Young next.
Guys, let's talk commitment. Relax, talking about beer. Budweiser has stayed true to the same recipe for over 130 years, through 5 generations. They could have cut corners, but they didn't, because they won't sacrifice quality or great taste. 130 years. Now that's commitment.
I love commitment.
So fine that I really want to make it mine.
It's all coming down to a kick. A 30-yard field goal attempt to try to win it. Ball down, kick on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. And that's it.
Live from your pocket, it's the NFL. Get the new NFL Mobile Live free with any data plan. Only from Sprint. Only on the Now Network.
In the search for love, always remember, dating is a contact sport.
I'm ready to rock!
Dane Cook, Kate Hudson, Alec Baldwin, and Jason Biggs, My Best Friend's Girl. Rated R, September 19th.
I'm comfortable in jeans that are tough. I'm comfortable in Wrangler. Real comfortable.
Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Satisfaction guaranteed. Wrangler. Real comfortable jeans.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. Sprint, get NFL Mobile Live only from Sprint, only on the Now Network. And by Ford, Drive One.
Back in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, a 10-7 lead for the Titans over the Jaguars. 13 minutes to go here in the 4th. 1st and 10 from the 9. Cruising style of Lendale White running inside, and the Jaguars were ready defensively, a 2-yard gain.
A lot of miscues and near hits and mostly misses for Vince Young and his wide receiver. Ball off the hands of Justin McCarron over the middle on a 3rd down play to Justin Gage. He can't come up with it. This one I thought that it should have been thrown better. The ball could have been thrown better by Vince Young, but you can see just not the chemistry and continuity you need between quarterback and wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans.
2nd and 8. White remains in there. Young on the quick toss. And angled out of bounds. Algie Crumpler finally gets in on the act. Crumpler came over from Atlanta, 4 Pro Bowls. Looks to be maybe the main target for Vince Young in this offense through the air.
We thought Algie Crumpler would be the guy who could control the middle of the field in this offense, make for easier throws by Vince. We already saw some down the field that couldn't quite go into the hands of the receivers. Mike Heimerdinger told us, said, hey, when they brought Algie Crumpler in, they envisioned him being what Frank Wycheck was for Steve McNair. Remember, Wycheck, tight end, led the Titans in receiving for 5 consecutive years.
This has been an issue all day, converting on 3rd down. 0 for 8. Handoff, Johnson.
Depending on the spot, he's going to be close.
Titans believe they have enough for the 1st down, and it looks like they do.
Do you like the way he attacks the line of scrimmage? He's not only quick, fast, and explosive, but boy, he attacks the line of scrimmage by going downhill. He knows yards are to be gained running straight ahead.
Jack Del Rio complaining about the spot, and you're right, he's got defenders backpedaling because they anticipate the speed and the angles that he can find. So first time today they've converted on third down. Let's see what they do with it. Young on the out route, McCarron's, and a flag down. There might have been some pushing on that play. Will it be offensive pass interference in a matchup with Drayton Florence?
Yeah, they're saying it's going to go up against...
Offense, number 19, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
No, you have to be able to get separation without a whole lot of contact. And McCarron's have had that and still not been able to come away with the ball. And he's just got to do a better job of fighting for the ball without getting the infraction. There's been times here in this game where he and Florence have gotten mixed up, but still he's had opportunity to come away with the ball and right now hurting the football team by not making the plays he's expected to make.
Now McCarron's is coming out. It would have been a 20-yard hookup and back it up basically to the original line of scrimmage. They're at the 10-yard line now with a 1st and 19. Third Tennessee penalty of the day. Johnson grinding out yardage through the middle as they closed in a hurry. Darrell Smith in on that stop for Jacksonville. Comedy that hits home. Gary Unmarried with Jay Moore is coming to CBS Wednesday, September 24th. Check it out. So give him a 3-yard gain on the play, and Johnson is inching closer to 100 yards on the ground in his NFL debut. Rushing yards, Tennessee, solid. Certainly not what they did a year ago where they exploded on the ground against the Jaguars. Young avoids the rush, finds Bo Scaife. Scaife got lifted up in the air. Justin Durant over to make the hit. And it's an 8-yard gain.
Well, that time you see Vince Young doing a better job of moving in the pocket. One of the things they worked with him, watch the footwork. Now watch how he stays in throwing position even though he has movement until he completed that ball with great accuracy. Watch the balance and the footwork for Vince Young much better on that play while in movement than what we've seen earlier in the game. Something Mike Heimerdinger says they spent a lot of time working with Vince Young on his movement in the pocket, just subtleties where he said he was able to watch a lot of tapes of Tom Brady to see how Tom gets it done.
Now a 3rd and 8 for this Tennessee offense, working out of the shotgun. Young throwing on the wrong page with Justin McCarron's.
And we said that there has been a lack of continuity early in this game between Vince Young and his wide receivers, Justin McCarron's, Justin Gage. The ball had to come out from Vince Young on that play because the pressure was coming in. It was a 3-step drop, and he's forced to throw it. You can see that Justin McCarron was not expecting the ball to be where it was.
And they continue to leave the door open for Jacksonville. Tennessee with a 10-7 lead. Now Maurice Jones-Drew will get an opportunity to return this punt from Craig Hendrick. Jones-Drew standing at the 30 will move forward. This was not a good punt from Hendrick, but it does take a Tennessee roll. Line of scrimmage will be just short of the 37 for Jacksonville. Oh, it's hot in Nashville. 10-7, Titans.
You got connections to most of these victims.
Am I a suspect here?
Friday, how far would you go?
You're gonna walk right into a trap.
To protect your own.
This ain't a chess game, partner.
Maybe it is.
De Niro, Pacino.
Get down!
Righteous Kill, rated R.
Too many meatballs on the field. Penalty declined. The new Primo meatball from Quiznos, only $2.99. Tender seasoned meatballs, toasted. The Primo meatball for just $2.99. Stop the clock. Quiznos.
When a crossover can get 24 miles per gallon and take 7 people along for the ride, suddenly the whole world changes. Discover Flex from Ford. Drive one.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm free pizza.
Okay, what are you doing in a pizza box?
I'm trying to catch college students. You're the #1 notebook on college campuses. So when they come around looking for you, they'll see the free pizza, and then I'll get them.
Whatever happened to people just choosing their computer?
That's the problem. They're choosing you. They love Leopard, your built-in eyesight camera, the fact that you run Microsoft Office.
Okay, well, good luck.
Come eat me. I'm a delicious pizza.
This fall, the NCIS team is breaking up.
Breaking up is hard to do.
But keeping them apart
Please get them back.
will be even harder.
You heard from Ziva? I really need to come home, boss. I'm working on this. I'm going to give you a code. But it is illegal, right? Don't answer that.
NCIS season premiere, Tuesday, September 23rd.
Pretty amazing the job that Tennessee has done defensively, considering where Jacksonville has started their drives over the course of the day. Average drive start their own 43-yard line. They open up here from the 36. Garrard in some trouble. Safety valve is there, and it's Fred Taylor who is brought down just short of the 45 by Javon Curse. It's an 8-yard gain through the air.
Again, the patience and the poise of the quarterback, David Garrard, to be able to get rid of that ball, because that pocket had all but collapsed on him before he was able to flip it over to Fred Taylor. They're just trying to find something that will work consistently for this offense against a stifling Tennessee Titans defense.
Total yards, Jacksonville has 151, only 28 on the ground. This is one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. Garrard on 2nd and 2. Throws. Picked off. Intercepted by Finnegan. His second of the day.
He is a player. Some players are made, some are born. In other words, if you're not blessed with a lot of talent, you've got to work at it. Cortland Finnegan does exactly that. He reroutes the receiver so well, he throws off the timing of the play. Matt Jones not able to get to the spot. Watch Finnegan. He'll just jump it. He jumps it right there and able to get right in front of Matt Jones and able to beat him to the ball. And Garrard only threw 3 interceptions all of last year, 2 so far in this game today.
And you wonder, have they conceded in the running game? That was a 2nd and short. And Garrard put it in the air. Young, he has it picked off on the very next play. The rookie Derek Harvey from Florida. A late signee. And the pendulum swings in the other direction.
He was the most valuable player in the BCS championship game against Ohio State. With this kind of talent, after a 33-day holdout and not playing in the preseason, to get on the field and make this kind of play, I think it'll buy you some grace from your coaches from that holdout. You ask, what did Vince Young do wrong? Well, he had to look and he had to throw it. You really have to credit Derek Harvey with such an exceptional play.
Second interception for Young today. And the Jaguars get it back with a 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 43. Garrard to throw. Oh, engulfed! Look at the Titans devouring Garrard, including Tony Brown, the 6th sack of the day.
I'm going to need an extra mouthpiece to finish calling this game. There is so much hitting going on. Defense is dominating the field of play on both teams. A smothering, swarming defensive front by the Tennessee Titans, the way that they're able to close in on David Garrard. Both quarterbacks are taking their lumps.
Vince Young has his head in his hands as Mike Heimerdinger is there to try to usher him along this year.
Oh, he's going to hear it from Heimerdinger. We said he holds the quarterback accountable. 2nd and 21.
So much for excellent field position in Tennessee territory. On the late handoff, draw play. And Taylor snaking his way for a 5-yard gain. Ryan Fowler there defensively. He's brought down at midfield.
Hainsworth, Brown, Vanden Bosch, Curse, Jacob Ford. We see a number of guys, even Jason Jones, rotating on that defensive line for the Tennessee Titans. If Vince Young can pick his head up and become more confident and avoid the mistakes, as we said at the top of the game, he has a defense that is playing at a championship level. Avoid the turnovers, and you will go a long way into helping your team win games.
And a 4-receiver set for Jacksonville on a 3rd and 16. Garrard guns short of the marker and thrown down Dennis Northcutt. Nick Harper, a physical corner. 6-yard gain through the air.
The defensive backs and the corners especially for Tennessee are just doing one well of a job. And now Albert Hainsworth, he goes down on one knee. I have to wonder what's going on. He's been battling something all day, but when he's been on the field, he's played well.
Yeah, very early in this game, Albert Hainsworth came off and actually missed a defensive series when Jason Jones, the rookie out of Eastern Michigan, stepped in for him along that front defensive line. And now Hainsworth is hunched over once again as the medical staff comes over. And now Hainsworth will get up and stroll to the Tennessee sideline. It's 4th down and 10.
However, Jacksonville and their offense remain on the field. It appears as though they're going to go for it. Jack Del Rio understanding they're getting excellent field position, and now late, here comes the punt team.
We are down to 6:10 and counting left in this 4th quarter. Adam Podlesh will punt it. Chris Carr is standing at the 9. And Podlesh gets it off, angles it towards the sideline. It will roll. Oh, boy. It's a touchback, but just barely.
Just barely. I think it went in by a half a yard before it came back out into the field of play.
He put nearly perfect spin on that ball as it took a turn and curved onto the goal line. By that much, it's going back to the 20, a 43-yard punt.
I designed the user interface for the navigation and sync systems here at Ford.
Well, the fun part is taking complex technology and then making it easy to use for customers.
Please say a command.
Fuel prices.
Fuel prices.
Phone. Call my wife.
Calling my wife.
Let's see what's for dinner tonight. They can use their voice to say find an Italian restaurant or nail salons. You'd be surprised how many nail salons there are. I'm Jason Johnson, and this is the Ford Focus. Drive one.
Week 5, 2007. Giants on the brink of going 2-3, knocking on mediocrity's door. But then Eli connects on a 53-yard touchdown pass. And you
probably missed it because you only get 4 games on cable.
There's only one way to get every game every Sunday. NFL Sunday Ticket, only from DirecTV. So who's Eli going to pump fake into submission this season? Your mom?
Switch now and get 4 months of our best TV package for free.
Relationships in life are more important than the one between you and your Michelin tires. Rugged, long-lasting Michelin truck tires. Michelin, a better way forward.
The city's never been more dangerous. CSI New York season premiere September 24th.
Forward. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
A white knuckler here in Nashville, and who would have expected anything less? Tennessee 10, Jacksonville 7, 5:58 to go here in the 4th. There was a moment during that break in the action. It appeared that Kerry Collins was going to come out and navigate this Tennessee offense, but Vince Young did make his way onto the field. And here come the Titans on a handoff for Chris Johnson, and he's bottled up. From 1st and 10 at the 20, he picks up a yard. Justin Durant over there to make the stop. Coming up tonight on CBS, Bob Woodward's broken a lot of stories over the years. He's about to make more news about the Bush administration. Hear it for the first time tonight on 60 Minutes. Then it's a new Big Brother, followed by live coverage of the U.S. Open Women's Championship coming up tonight here on CBS. Well, injury on the field, and it is the rookie Chris Johnson. What an electrifying debut. 15 carries, 93 yards, 3 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown.
They're massaging the left calf of Chris Johnson. He had been battling some cramps earlier in the game, and it is heat. It's hot and very heated in this stadium for many of the fans. They're bringing in many things to try to cool themselves off, but You know, right now I think it's incumbent upon Vince Young to lift his level of play. You know, if Chris Johnson's going to have to come off the field, and I think one thing that Vince has always been able to do, despite not having the good, pretty, beautiful throwing numbers of completion percentages and touchdown passes, he's been able to make plays and win football games. And now in the fourth quarter, he's got to find a way to make a play. If it's not by throwing it, you know, forget about what the critics are saying. If you've got to run it to pick up a first down, if you've got to, you know, use your legs to make plays for this offense, then you got to do what you got to do.
Well, Johnson now walking off. And that means Lendale White is the featured back for Tennessee. Just to add to your Vince Young point, comparisons being made to the former Titan, Steve McNair, because of the uniform they wear, because of the physique, because of the skill set. And the reality is McNair developed into the kind of player that could drag his team to the finish line. Jump on my back, and I'll carry you there. Right now, the Titans are dragging Vince Young to the finish line. He's just trying to manage things and not lose the game for Tennessee. 2nd and 9. Fake the handoff. Rush is coming. Young gets rid of it to Bo Scaife, his favorite target. And Scaife breaking out for a first down across the 35.
At first it starts with Vince Young throwing a well enough ball that allows Bo Scaife to catch the ball uninterrupted in terms of his running. See, you throw a catchable ball where he can continue to run. He throws a move on Reggie Nelson, and then he's able to get going up the field and get the first down. So if Vince can just complete passes that allow the receivers to create yards after the catch, that goes a long way to helping them win.
And the clock becoming a factor under 5 minutes to play now as Lendale White, that hole closed in a hurry and White could not shoot through it. And Chris Johnson is now leaving the field of play as Henderson and Meyer combine to bring down White. And it looks like Tennessee might have to go the rest of the way here without their talented rookie. 4:37 and counting left in this fourth quarter.
And Jeff Fisher loses something when you have to take Chris Johnson out of the lineup. Gone is that electric player who can make a guy miss. He makes one person miss in the secondary. That ball's going to make it to the end zone.
Jacksonville crowding the line. Flags come down, pointing to the right side of the Tennessee
offense,
line.
Number 80, 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So Bo Scaife giveth, Bo Scaife taketh away. And the clock stops with 4:19 remaining here in the fourth. Tennessee with a 3-point lead on Jacksonville. This is an AFC South rivalry. Last year, both of these teams went to the playoffs in the AFC. Jaguars 11-5, Titans 10-6. Both were wild cards behind Indianapolis. Drop ball.
And Vince Young is down. He took a hit, a wallop by the defensive player who was blitzing and putting pressure on him.
Darrell Smith with a shot on Young, and now Kerry Collins is warming up.
And watch the hit right there, and he falls on his leg. The left knee, Vince Young is holding it, and see, watch that left leg buckle under the weight of Darrell Smith.
Vince Young grabbing that left knee. What a turn this game has taken at the 4:14 mark.
Kerry Collins has an opportunity to come on and help try to preserve a victory with 4 minutes left. You get the sense that Tennessee is in need of a very long drive here to try to hold on to this game. And you get also the sense that Jacksonville in their defense is just starving to make one play, maybe one more turnover or one more 3-and-out, some kind of stop to get the ball back for their offense.
Vince Young on his back. It is the left leg of Young as the medical staff deals with him. He's laid out at the 20-yard line, and Kerry Collins is throwing the football along the sideline. Tennessee will face a 3rd and 15. There's 4 minutes and change left on the clock, and the Titans have a 3-point lead. Another look at Young.
Watch the left leg as the weight of Darrell Smith comes down on it, and it'll just buckle there as it's caught in the ground. See there? See the torque of that left knee bending in a way that, quite frankly, is not meant to bend.
And Vince Young is up, walking with a noticeable limp. And Kerry Collins will be under center for the Titans. He comes into a precarious situation. 3rd and 15 at the 30-yard line. Nickel package here for Jacksonville. 3 receivers set for Tennessee. Out of the shotgun, it's Collins, the veteran. Dumps it off. Scaife trying to create after the catch. He's got a first down. Bo Scaife is still going.
Greg Williams is the new defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had once served as the coordinator here in Tennessee. He is known for all-out blitzes. That's what they do here. And because they miss Bo Scaife at the second level, he's not touched till he's 20, 30 yards down the field, smartly holding on to the football. But you get the sense that Heimerdinger knew what Greg Smith would want to do. All-out blitz to come after Kerry Collins.
A huge 44-yard pass play for Tennessee with Young on the sideline. It was Collins to Scaife, and the Jaguars have used a timeout with 4:14 remaining here in the 4th.
The tight end screen. It's the perfect play for an all-out blitz because all you're going to do is you allow everyone to come in on the quarterback, and all you got to do is get the ball beyond that wave of defenders to your open tight end. In this case, it was Bo Scaife, and he totally burned him. There you see Greg Williams. He understood. He gambled. Mike Heimerdinger, the poker player, ended up coming up all aces on that one with an excellent play call.
As they work on the left leg of Vince Young, Kerry Collins has the opportunity to come in and preserve victory for Tennessee. They lead 10-7. Collins on a handoff. Wendell White sliding through a hole, and White leaves his feet for extra yardage. A 6-yard gain. Reggie Nelson injured on that play. So Jacksonville has used another timeout. And Nelson will head over to the Jacksonville sideline after being shaken up. He'll be replaced by Gerald Sensabaugh, who had the interception earlier. Well, you think you've had bad luck? Wait till you see the first episode of Worst Week. It premieres on Monday, September 22nd, right here on CBS.
Looks like a pretty bad week.
Well, this could be a very good week for Tennessee if they get the victory here. And obviously, the status of Vince Young unknown after the awkward left knee injury. He got caught underneath Darrell Smith's attempted sack on Young. This is a 2nd and 4 now. Collins on the give. It's White spun down behind the line of scrimmage. John Henderson, the Nashville native, limits him to a loss of 2. And now Jacksonville has used its final timeout. So they will have the 2-minute warning still. Jack Del Rio using all of his timeouts and hoping that his defense can make a play and not allow Tennessee to get a first down, because then they really control the action.
Show you how close this game is. At this point in the game, both teams have run exactly 51 offensive plays, and both defenses are still fighting, still playing hard. And I think Tennessee has kind of won the day. You consider Jacksonville, you hold them to 33 rushing yards at this point in the game. You know, Tennessee, their defense has really held strong, and now in this possession, the offense has come alive.
And a reaction from the crowd. Chris Johnson, the rookie, has come back onto the field for this pivotal 3rd and 6. 3 receivers set. Just under 4 minutes to play. Tennessee clinging to a 3-point lead over Jacksonville. Collins out of the shotgun, throwing, complete, and a first down. Just engaged. He's still going. Out of bounds inside the 5.
You don't ask much of the backup quarterback when he comes in the game, except run the offense, make the easy throw from Kerry Collins, and Gage comes across the formation, and a couple of missed tackles allows him to get even more than the first down.
Kerry Collins, 14-year NFL veteran. with Carolina, New Orleans, the Giants, Oakland. Collins, 35 years old, nearly 35,000 career passing yards. And now Tennessee trying to put some space in between them and Jacksonville on a handoff. Touchdown! Lendale White! And the Titans add to their lead.
This drive may have started at the 20-yard line, but after the penalty, they were backed up well inside of their 10. And then they come on and catch a second win and go down the field after the big play to Bo Scaife. It's just sheer power off the left side of the offensive line with Lendale White, who I believe is a better fit to power it in and around the goal line.
Rob Baronis on for the extra point. And it's 17-7, Titans. Well, the Titans needed a quarterback to lift their spirits on this crucial drive, and they happened to get one, except it was the backup, Kerry Collins. Bo Scaife with some big catches, and he turned them into first downs. Coming up, immediately following football, the 2008 U.S. Open here on CBS men's semifinal. They have to pick up the action, which began yesterday. Andy Murray with a chance to knock off the number 1 seed, Rafael Nadal. Then tonight, women's championship in the fight for the number 1 world ranking, Serena Williams against Jelena Jankovic in her first career Grand Slam final. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, men's championship, Roger Federer looking for his 5th straight U.S. Open title. They'll meet the winner of Nadal Murray. All of the action here on CBS. Kerry Collins. You know, Vince Young had so much praise for Collins in our meetings when we asked him, how has this year gone for you so far preseason? He said, look, I'm leaning on Mike Heimerdinger. I'm leaning on Kerry Collins and soaking up all the knowledge that Collins has after playing in this league for so long. Well, it was Kerry Collins who had to use that knowledge to help lead Tennessee down the field to give them some breathing room here in the fourth.
2 passes, both of them complete for 65 significant yards on big-time plays for this offense.
And now Jacksonville has no timeouts remaining. Brian Witherspoon will take it out, just looking for a jolt here on special teams, and he may have it to the sideline. Witherspoon able to stay in bounds until he hit the 46-yard line. Rob Baronis got down the field with a little shove to force him out of bounds. 51-yard return.
And once again, Jack Del Rio's offense has excellent field position. If you only have 3:30 left on the clock, this is what you're asking for. To get the ball right around midfield, you need one significant play. You trail by 10. Yes, you do have the chance for an onside kick, but first, you've got to score a touchdown.
Vince Young, the official word from the Tennessee sideline, it's a sprained left knee for the Titans starting quarterback. And now David Garrard will have to work quickly here and efficiently. Underneath, Maurice Jones-Drew. And he's got a first down into Tennessee territory across the 40-yard line. But they cannot stop the clock. Only the 2-minute warning can do that unless they can work it towards the sidelines and out of bounds.
The most significant thing, Dirk Cutter, the offense coordinator for Jacksonville, I think anytime you drop back to throw the ball, they have to go with a shorter drop and quicker reads and quicker throws by David Garrard because the offensive line's not really holding up. Kyle Vandenbach
from the 39. And on the dump off towards the sideline, clock will continue to roll here. Mercedes Lewis touched up by Nick Harper. And we are under 3 minutes to play with Tennessee leading it 17-7.
Kyle Vandenbosch, if you watch the left tackle, Khalif Barnes, he's got more than his workload trying to block Vandenbosch.
There's Garrard out of the shotgun. Rifles one to Lewis. And Lewis works his way inside the 20 and a flag thrown back in the pocket area where Garrard was able to release the football. It's a 15-yard pass play.
It looked like someone hit a hit to
foul,
the face.
Roughing the passer, defense number 93. Contact to the neck and head of the quarterback. This penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. First down.
So it is Vandenbosch.
Vandenbosch is getting close, but he wants the sack. As he comes here, look at the head of David Garrard. There's the hand. Right there as he was thrown into him. But see, he had the hit, but then an extra push with that right hand. So he gave it a little bit something extra, and that's what the officials were looking at.
So they placed the football inside the 10 at the 9-yard line, a first and goal for Jacksonville. 3 receivers in this formation. Williams, the motion man. First and goal, Garrard. Little dump off, and too low for Fred Taylor. Incomplete.
Too low and behind Fred Taylor as he was going right into the teeth of the defense. It should have been an easy completion for Garrard, but not easy to make those throws when you're backing up, when that pressured pass rush is coming right in your face. See the ball behind him and low. Fred Taylor normally could make the easiest catches, but that one was just a little bit too difficult to haul it in.
Maurice Jones-Drew replaces Taylor on a second and goal from the 9. Out of the gun, Garrard throws it. End zone, incomplete. Over Dennis Northcutt's head. And it brings up third and goal for Jacksonville.
This should be a touchdown because Dennis Northcutt's not expecting the ball. See, he throws it on time. Quarterback has to anticipate, get your head around, turn inside, and Northcutt easily makes that catch if he's turned around and positioning himself to make the grab. He was not expecting the ball, and that ball was well thrown and perfect timing by David Garrard. Northcutt not looking for the ball.
Jacksonville still needs 2 scores, but they desperately want the 7 here because of where they are on the football field. Inside the 10 with a 4-receiver set. Garrard pump. Garrard back in the end zone, and he had Williams open. Incomplete.
I'm going to tell you this. I know from up here that looks like an easy throw that quarterback should complete it. And Garrard says, yes, I should have. But he has to throw the ball in a better trajectory. But you have to get it over the tall timber and the line of defenders in front of the end zone. Keith Bullock's there. Chris Hope is there. But you have to be able to drop it over the top into the back of the end zone.
Josh Scobie, who missed on a 37-yard attempt earlier where it skied over the post. He's on for a short one here. 27-yard field goal to bring Jacksonville closer. They trail by 10. Scobie. Well, he hooked it in. And it's 17-10. Tennessee with 2:13 remaining here in the 4th. Well, they have to onside kick here. They have no timeouts remaining.
Look at Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach. He's getting his guy fired up. I don't know that you do that and you just plan on kicking it deep, because when you get close to 2 minutes, I don't know that you want to allow Kerry Collins and Chris Johnson and this strong offensive line for Jeff Fisher to eat time off the clock. They're big, they're strong, they're powerful, and getting movement on your defense. I think you have to go for the onside kick and hope the special teams can get you the ball back.
17-10, Tennessee in front with 2:13 remaining. Jacksonville, it only took 1:34 to come down the field, but they didn't get the touchdown that they hoped for. They still have to get the football back, though. No timeouts remaining. And here we go. Jeff Fisher sends his hands team out there. Josh Scobie will kick it off. Chris Carr has moved forward to the 20-yard line, anticipating the onside attempt from Jacksonville.
Did Joe DeCamillis give you the impression that they were going to kick it deep?
Didn't get that sense off his sprint down the sideline. There it is.
Didn't go 10 yards.
Pushing and shoving after the play. Flags come down. Jacksonville claiming they have the football. It did not go the 10 yards required.
And the flag is down because they touched the ball before it went 10 yards.
Scobie just tapped it.
Yeah, Scobie's got to put a little bit more on it. But all the guys covering the kick for Jacksonville has to allow the ball to roll 10 yards before they can touch it.
So Tony Corrente is sorting it all out. Jack Del Rio and Jeff Fisher, a couple of USC guys, awaiting the word, which could determine the fate here in Nashville. 17-10, Tennessee.
The kick was illegally touched by number 53 of the kicking team. since this play happened inside 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, Tennessee will be able to keep the ball at the spot of illegal touch, first down.
See, the illegal touch is that you have to allow the ball to roll 10 yards before the kicking team can touch it. And this ball was just trickling. And see, and they have to understand if, yeah, you want to go and hit.
So attack on 2 seconds to the game clock. 2:13 remaining. They still have the 2-minute warning.
Just poorly executed. I think Scobie could have kicked the ball a little bit better. It looked as if he was kicking it right to one of the up front men for the Tennessee Titans. They touched the ball before it rolled 10 yards, thus the illegal touching penalty.
Best case scenario, if they stonewall the Titans on this drive, they're looking at about 30 to 35 seconds when they get the football back. 2:13 on the clock. They still have the 2-minute warning to stop the clock. Handoff. Lendale White. And struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. Paul Spicer got him down low. And it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. We will hit the 2-minute warning with Tennessee in front. 17-10, trying to hold on for a home win to open the 08 season.
Hi, I'm Tony Romo. I've agreed to have myself doubled in size so that you never forget that new lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL kickoff gives you double Pepsi stuffed points. With double stuffed points, you can earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast, like MP3s, electronics, and even chances to win free trips. Because double really is better. Also available in diet.
For a limited time, get double stuffed points when you drink lemon-flavored Pepsi NFL kickoff and earn lots of cool stuff twice as fast.
So here we are in the fourth quarter. No time left, and the touchdown is under review.
Hey, guys, what do you think?
We're not ready to go yet. Is there any way you can send this thing into overtime?
No problem.
I don't know what he was looking at, but we're going into overtime.
Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here.
This could finally end it. Oh, my.
When a new crossover arrives with 24 miles per gallon and 3 rows of upscale everything, it opens eyes and possibilities. Discover Flex from Ford. Drive one.
Buckle up.
Officer down!
TV's #1 suspense thriller is back.
Have you seen any of my team?
And it's gonna be a killer ride.
The city's about to get hit.
Criminal Minds. Season premiere, CBS Wednesday, September 24th.
Titans quarterback Vince Young forced into the role of spectator with a sprained left knee in this physical, hard-hitting football game to open up the 2008 season. 2 minutes to play. Tennessee with a 17-10 lead over Jacksonville. Content to keep it on the ground here with Lendale White picking up extra yardage on the second effort. And Lendale White comes up with a 10-yard gain, setting up 3rd and short for the Titans. 1:45 left. Up next for the Titans, they are at Cincinnati, home for Houston, home for Minnesota, and at Baltimore before they hit their bye week in October.
Oh, now you see why Jack Del Rio decided to go with the onside kick, because they've struggled to stop Jeff Fisher's offensive line. This offensive line gets going downhill at you. They're big, they're strong, they're powerful.
And if they get 2 yards here, the game is over. Down to 1:15 left, and looks like Jeff Fisher is going to use a timeout here as the play clock ran down. .110 left here in the fourth. Tennessee leading by 7. Up next for the Jaguars. They'll have their home opener against the Buffalo Bills, and then they head off to Indianapolis. That was an interesting part of our conversations with the Jaguars, talking about closing the gap with the Colts. And a lot of the answers were, there's no gap. Everyone says there's a gap. There's no gap. We don't see it that way. There's no gap. We're on the same level, and in fact, the goal now is to go out and win the division. Jack Del Rio and the rest of his team, a very confident bunch. They walked into a very difficult situation, divisional game against an opponent that knows them very well in the season opener here in Nashville. 3rd and 2. Can they ice it here? Lendale White plunging forward.
It is the offensive line for the Tennessee Titans. Real strong running from Chris Johnson, and then the ability of Lendale White to come in late in the game around the goal line, getting a touchdown, and here late in the 4th quarter to help salt the victory away, to help keep it. And you can't say enough about the Tennessee Titans defense and that defensive front, the pressure put on David Garrard, and how well this defense tackles for Jeff Fisher.
If it's a first down, game over. If not, it'll win against Jacksonville. Well, to take a look at this with under 2 minutes left to make sure they got the right spot on the Lendale White run.
And this is the official's choice. This is not the choice of the Jacksonville coaches, but the officials want to make sure they got the spot right.
So I'll take another look as to where Lendale White eventually came down.
Well, he's beyond the 20-yard line, and he needed to get beyond it, right
30-yard line.
Or
30.
around the 30, excuse me.
Well, I had to get to the 29.
To 29, absolutely.
And to me, the spot looked fair. On live action and on replay that he had enough for the first down. Well, David Garrard, 2 interceptions today after throwing 3 all of last season. And another look at Lendale White trying to ice it.
I would say that if you look at where the ball was when he hit, it might be just closer to the 30 than it would be to the 29-yard line.
Well, if they back it up a couple of inches, then you're looking at 4th and inches for Tennessee. 59 seconds remain. And Tony Corrente just wanted to make sure that this is handled correctly. This is not something that could be generated by the head coach, Jack Del Rio. This is an official review.
And if they decide to back it up, I think if you're Jeff Fisher, you decide to just run it again. You just tell your runners, hey, don't fumble the ball. You run it hard, and let's go ahead and get it. I would not try to punt the ball from this position in this area on the field.
Now, Tony Corrente has made his decision. And this crowd is either going to react in a positive fashion or he's not going to be very popular. Vince Young being carted off the field.
After review, the Tennessee runner was down short of the line to gain. The ball will be placed right on the 30-yard line.
Wow.
It'll be 4th down and 3/4 of a yard.
Well, Solomon, you saw it right. Now they'll start the clock, and Jeff Fisher can use as much time here that there is on the play clock, a 39-second cushion for him to work with. Another look, Lendale White.
Jeff Fisher is not happy. Yeah, he was over here, kind of had a little celebration going over because even when you said the game was over, he felt the same way. And now, they still have some plays that need to be made here.
Well, when a head coach is given high fives, that usually indicates that he's accepted the victory.
Absolutely.
So now 4th and a little bit less than a yard. And the clock is rolling now. There will be 21 seconds left. This was Jeff Fisher after he got the news from Tony Corrente.
Coaches, that emotionally, once they moved on and he breathes that sigh of relief and exhale, thinking, okay, we got the first down, we won the game. You don't want to have to go back to put the game face on and now having to do all the other things.
Well, again, Salman, now I'll pose it to you. You already gave an indication of where you were leaning if it was negated on the instant replay. There's 20 seconds remaining. They need half a yard for a first down and to end this game. What do you do if you're Jeff Fisher, Mike Heimerdinger, and the Tennessee offense?
Do you remember that play with the Giants and Joe Pisarcik? Remember the play that made Herm Edwards very, very famous? And I think you always have to really be conscious that you have to control and take care of the football. I believe you're running because even bad things can happen if you try to punt the football.
They need half a yard to claim victory. Kerry Collins sticks its helmet in. And now this will all be dependent on the spot. Will Jacksonville get a shot here with 14 seconds remaining?
I think he's going to come up short. And it's not necessarily where you give them the ball. I think you had to go ahead and run it because if you try to punt it and the punter doesn't catch it, then they end up with the ball with even better field position. Now you got to believe your defense is strong enough and good enough to hold on to this lead with 14 seconds remaining in the game.
So they'll measure it one more time. He did come up short on that initial glance. Way short.
Work still needs to be done. And Jeff Fisher now imploring his defense, hey, guys, don't exhale yet. Need to make a play. And if you're Jack Del Rio, you got to look at these final 14 seconds as a new opportunity and new life.
Jacksonville is down by 7. 14 seconds remain. They send out 7 defensive backs. And now Tony Corrente will take another look at the spot. Well, good luck to you, Tony.
Yeah, I want to know how they're going to figure this one out. How do you determine where to spot it, or if you were wrong?
Unless he sees something that we don't see on that replay, I'm not quite sure how they're going to determine whether or not that was the right spot.
And we know the case. He's seeing what we're seeing.
Another look.
This is what he's saying. So let's see. He talked about forward progress. Now, once Kerry Collins goes into that crowd, I don't know where he is.
Where's Waldo? Where's Kerry? Now, this look gives you a little bit more insight, but again, to spot the football from that is going to be nearly impossible.
When you're talking inches, I think it is impossible.
And again, the officiating crew handling it the right way, making sure that no stone is unturned in this situation. But the reality is, if it holds up, which it probably will, Jackson will have 14 seconds to work with, and they need 70 yards.
The use of instant replay in this situation, when you're talking about spotting a football as it pertains to inches, just not so sure that you're going to always be able to get that one right.
So Jacksonville's going to be looking at probably a 15, 20-yard quick out and then one shot at a Hail Mary.
After review, the ruling on the field will stand and Jacksonville will take over on downs. First down.
So Tony was unpopular on both of his instant replay assessments here in Nashville.
Yeah, that one, Tony, we could have helped you out on that one. This was going to come down to Jeff Fisher and his defense being able to make a play. And at the end of the day, what do you do here if you're in the secondary? You knock it down.
Here's Garrard out of the shotgun, throwing to the sideline, and that's exactly what they had to do. Matt Jones on the quick out, just across the 40-yard line, and 10 seconds remain.
Really smart play. Only took 4 seconds to complete that pass. You get not just a new set of downs, that's not really the point, but you get 10 yards closer to the end zone.
So now 60 yards away from a miracle finish.
Remember that Olympic volleyball team?
Yeah.
This is what you got to do if you're playing in the secondary for Tennessee.
Garrard steps. Garrard in trouble. Garrard sacked. And it's over. Albert Haynesworth An old school performance by the Tennessee Titans. They defeat their division rival Jacksonville 17-10 here in the 2008 season opener.
The 7th sack on the day by a defensive line, and I guess it's only well fitting that the defensive line was able